5. So they do have room to pick a Venno to also kind of like flex in that role if they want to, but they're going to pick up Zayed's Nyx Assassin as we talked about before. He was 5-1 with this, you said?
Yep.
Sounds like pretty good stat line to me.
Yeah, maybe a little bit better than that T1's Venom.
I mean, I like the idea that T1 starts off with the Undying, because it's also been one of the 4 heroes that they prioritized in Phase 1 between Primal Beast that is banned, the Venom that's already talked about, and then there's the Morphling, which they have sometimes gone for if they can't get themselves the Furion and the Venom combo. But I kind of still feel like there's a lot of room for this Venomancer. It's also 4 and 2 as a combo for T1.
If we, what do you feel like the Undying is most commonly played for T1, or do you think that that's something that is good for them right now, is the fact that it can still be quite flexible, Kezu?
I think they're very comfortable having it in both lanes because, as we mentioned, they have Morphling in like most of the games, especially when they have Undying. Now, perhaps the draft pans out in a way where you need a different 5 for the Morphling, or you just put the Morph mid. I would say that they're very comfortable in both. I think what was important for Secret here in this opening pick is to make sure that you pick 2 heroes against the Undying opening that feel good against Undying, but also against this closing pick of T1 in this phase, which very likely could be their Morphling yet again. It's something they've done in like their last 3 matches, the last 3 out of 4 matches.
Yeah, it's so good here. I think the Morphling makes total sense. Like, it lanes incredibly well versus Lesh. Topson can play it mid against the Lesh. They can put it safe lane against the Lesh. That's generally where the Lesh is going to go, right? It's going to go mid or potentially off lane with the Nyx. And you just can't pressure a Morph. You've got low base damage. Your damage is over time, so the tribute shift is always there. You can't burst them. It's just a really good pick. And I think that's super scary for Team Secret already, just seeing the opening from T1.
Yeah, it's also kind of an issue as well when you see Leshrac against Morphling, because Lesh usually hates burst damage a lot, so Morphling does set in nicely. And also Secret hasn't picked Lesh in first phase at all. It's been their last phase last pick, or second last pick into the draft as well. So I mean, it does give a pretty strong start for T1.
Yeah, I guess the other interesting thing that you did bring up is with this Morph is that they can either play it on Ana or they can play it on Topson. So again, a little bit of versatility there with that draft. But if you're Secret, how do you sort of ban now, Kezu? Are you banning more for yourself to protect, or are you banning for things that you don't want T1 to get their hands on?
So I think to also touch on the first phase a little bit more, Secret must have known this is coming. They did this like 3 out of 4 games. They also banned for the Morphling. I think one of the heroes he doesn't want to face is Enigma. It's very annoying. Then Shadow Fiend is something Secret has played a lot. So Secret probably picked the Lash because it's one of their more open cores to play in multiple roles and then still get some counter picks going. And in terms for their bans, I think you just want to make sure that the Lash is indeed open, that you don't leave like 1 or 2 heroes in that, okay, if they pick this, I don't want to go mid. If they pick this, I don't want to go safe lane.
Okay. What could some of those heroes look like, Fear, that T1 might then want to try and pick up for themselves?
T1, I'm more worried about Secret, about what they want to pick up against this, to be totally honest with you. Because, like, I mentioned before, just a second, like, this Enigma's the only hero that comes to my mind that can pressure a Morphling Undying lane. So I'm really worried on, like, what Secret is going to pick to combat that. And they have some bans here. They banned the AA on T1 to protect. They banned the Drow. There might be a Slark play later. We saw the Lina. As far as, like, the mid matchup goes, like, they have a 100% win rate on Morph right now in T1. Topson's played it once, and Ana's played it twice. So they have the versatility to go like in both lanes here. So my eye is mainly just on like what is Secret gonna do? Because right now I feel like T1's in like the driver's seat of like the meta right now, and like where this draft is going. And Secret is like gonna show us something new here, and it's gonna be something we probably have not seen before, unless they're gonna opt for like the Lina or something.
Yeah, could be. I mean, T1, when they've gone for these second phase picks, Furion, they've always gone for it. I don't think there's room for a Disruptor when you already have the Undying, unless you're going to flex it around. Even though Disruptor might be nice against the Leshrac, but it's also pretty annoying to play when you have a Nyx Assassin on your opponent's team and you're just going to die potentially quite a lot on that hero. It does provide, but I don't think Disruptor's necessarily the pick they want to bring up. Maybe a Shaker with the Morph, maybe a Clockwork if they want to get some more initiation and vision power for this Morphling. I mean, I agree with you. I think Secret's in a pretty iffy situation. Like, I like the Chen edition here, but it feels like it still needs something to add in.
Josie, what do you feel like the T1 are going to be opening with here in this second phase, considering Secret trying to not give away too much and just picking up the Chen?
I feel like what would be cool here for T1 is that you pick an offlaner that gives you a bit more team fight, lanes well against Chen, and potentially builds a pipe in this game. I could see something like a Centaur or Tide combination come out just to solidify your team fight a bit more with the Morph or Undying. But this could also depend. So do they feel comfortable putting Undying in the offlane against the Chen? I feel like it's maybe not the best matchup because you don't deal so well with the summons. And with them picking Tusk here, they might just pick, so the Undying should already be a core.
Yep, they're going to flex this Morph, right? It's going to be either mid or carry.
Yeah.
Undying will be offlane for Cuckoo,
Yeah.
and they've got their 4 and 5. But Oracle, that is a hero that I generally have very little faith in this patch, but against the Leshrac, they don't have a lot of, like, my problem with Oracle is, like, if you get on top of the Oracle, right, with some Night Stalker or something like that, the hero can feel, like, impossible to play.
Right.
But they don't have that right now for Secret, so they need to find a way to get on top of the Oracle, right?
I feel like Secret have a lot of good picks here. Summons are very good in this game. They have very little things they deal with. Like, for instance, a Lycan, which pairs really well with Chen. It's super good against the tier 1 heroes. It's also something they did yesterday against Morphling. Howl is super annoying for Morphling because his damage is like really high because he plays on mainly low HP with the full Agi. And I think that is one of the routes they could go. Night Stalker, as Fear was mentioning, is also very good. Night Stalker breaks these lineups that rely on their backline heroes to, save the heroes in the front. So I could see them go for something like this.
I mean, while we're waiting for that Secret pick to come out, just very quickly, this is actually the first time we're seeing Oracle in Last Chance Qualifiers. It's been banned in the past, but has not been picked up. So, T1 coming out with something a little bit different there, and then Secret getting that Lycan Team Panda.
Yeah, like as you said, the zoo is strong. You got a lot of creeps with Chen and now the Lycan. I think they might have shifted up the priority of heroes that they want, because if you would have saved this Lycan for last phase, that could have been a very good ban for T1 to get rid of. They've picked this Lycan twice in the second phase, and they've won both games, just like the Tusk on T1 also won both games when they've been picked in the second phase. But like the utility for Secret is getting better with this powerhouse of what Lycan kind of is in a game like this. I'm just looking for maybe a pair up with this hero, but now that are they going to put a 3? Is Rezo going to be going on with the Lycan? Because they haven't picked their carry, they haven't picked Crystal as his hero ever in the last phase. It's always been Rezo.
Yeah,
I think the situation might change just based on how the draft progressed, but I think Rezo for sure will be playing the Lycan. Maybe there's a small chance Chrysalis will play the Leshrac. Very small chance, I think, but it could happen. I think right now, if you're T1, you're definitely thinking about putting this Morph mid and assume that's like a Nisha Leshrac, and maybe find something that can punish the Lycan, because Oracle does not punish a Lycan at all, and I think if you don't have that hero, I think the last time we saw this, Lycan was playing versus Undying, then Undying bullied it out, so the Morph got free farm. A lot harder to get that space when your pos 5 is an Oracle, so they could pick something for Ana here that is a lot stronger in lane against like the Lycan, which could be like a Sven or something. And you can see Secret's kind of sniffing that out too. They banned the Bristleback, which would have been a great option too.
Assuming that Secret are going to be picking up their carry as their last pick, are there any holes or flaws that you feel, Kazu, are in their draft that they really need to kind of cover, or are they pretty open with what their last pick has to do?
I think what's important for them is that they have they do have very good team fight with the auras and the Lesh running in and letting him tank up, but I would like to see them just have a hero that really complements the fact that your team is running in for you and that they're buying auras for you. So I would like to see them pick a hero that just scales very nicely, with damage, because he's going to have a Vlad's aura from his Lycan, an AC from his Lycan, and the heals coming out from the Chen. It's a little hard to say yet what it's going to be, because they're going to be picking their pick in response to what T1 will go for. But I would just like for them to seek more the complementary pick for their draft.
Yeah, you're laning versus Undying too, which isn't an easy task, but is Ursa in the pool? That's a hero that could work well versus the Morph and Undying.
Yeah.
But as I've seen a lot of Undying lanes, they seem to just win their lane no matter what they play against. So I don't know if you can play for like trying to win your lane.
I don't know if Crystallis would like to go for something like Viper or the Monkey King's ban. So yeah, the Viper and the Void are the ones that I'm kind of thinking. They don't really have synergy with the Faces Void necessarily, but it does give them some extra tools to fight with. But I think it has to be somewhat of a response pick as well to this last one that T1 wants.
Yeah, they'll say a little bit, but I think for the most part, Crystallis already sees his lane. So, I mean, there's a tide. Is this going to be a carry tide from Ana? I think it might. And they might put the Leshrac in the mid lane here against the I put the Morph against the Leshrac, sorry. And then this doesn't change a ton, I think, for Crystallis, because unless they want to do some lane swaps. Like, you mentioned the Void, but I've never seen Void do well versus Undying. Like, I just never... That lane's just too hard. So... Very interesting pick here. Looks like Ana's going to do something creative and play a non-meta carry.
I could see something in this draft where you put the Lash safe lane and you pick... I just feel like you want whatever, ranged hero, whatever. Like, you could go for a Lina mid if that's something that they want to do. If Crystallis is comfortable on the safe lane Lash. Yeah, Ursa is also an incredible pick, as Fear mentioned.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, we got this game on draft, nice and sorted now. And, you know, obviously T1, they couldn't be as straightforward as maybe everyone thought. But Kezu, seeing it, how you feeling? Which side is actually going to be Thompson? Yeah.
Mid-Oracle.
Or, okay. Yeah, see, there you go. T1 doing something not a lot of people are expecting, not even us here on the panel. But seeing where they're all going, because especially in the mid-Oracle.
Well, I'm not an expert on Oracle mid against Lash. I think that might be a farm trade lane, but I think both side lanes are in Secret's favor. I feel like T1... I feel like they started their draft off pretty strong, but I think they missed out on perhaps 1 or 2 bans, and their adjustments aren't really what I would have liked to see. So, especially seeing with Oracle, personally, I would prefer to play a Secret draft in this game.
Okay. And Phil, what about yourself? How do you think this one's going to be panning out?
I mean, this one's going to be wild. I think they have something in store here. Cuckoo picked up the Tide for himself, knowing there's an Ursa in the game. We mentioned how the Tide is good versus the Lycan. I think there's going to be some lane swapping in this game. I think this Tide is probably going to want to go against the Lycan. Secret's going to swap back. I think we're going to have some musical chair lanes here, and it's going to be quite an interesting early game.
And what about yourself, very quickly, T-Panda? Which team are you kind of siding a little bit with?
Oh, man. Seeing both these drafts, I mean, of course, there's a lot of interesting things. It's hard to say. If I have to pick, I guess I go with Kezu, and like I would really like to play this Secret draft rather. But T1 playing some very good meta heroes right now. I don't know. Maybe Secret takes this one.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, let's jump into our very first series of the day. It's upper bracket best of 3 between T1 and Secret with your casters Seek and Strike and Pile I Die.
Thank you, Nat T. Thank you, lads. Yes, here we are, Pi game number 1 of the upper bracket semifinals. Victor here gets 2 chances to qualify directly to TI if they can get into that upper bracket finals already. And T1, they're kicking off the series with a mid lane Oracle. Have you ever seen anything like this, Pi?
Actually, I have seen it. Anyone who's caught Thompson's stream, especially a couple of months ago, you've seen him play this hero quite a bit with like various results. I don't know if this ended up being one of his favorites, but he did have decent success with it. And a lot of it is just people don't expect this early burst damage when an Oracle gets these many levels.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be key, right? What your combo early on with 204 on Purifying Flames especially is it's a mad amount of damage. It's over 500 and quite spammable at that.
Yeah, and what I remember, usually he tries to go for a really early Ags, which is not a very common item either, right? Like if you have a position 5 Oracle, you never get that Aghanim Scepter. And
Reign of Destiny.
Yes, and no one really knows what it does, right? And so yeah, if you stand in it, you take a lot of damage. If your teammates stand in it, you heal them more. So like that's basically what you need to know. It's quite exciting.
I agree. How well this will fight into an Oracle, how well this Oracle will fight into that is an Ursa, a Lycan, of course Puppey as well with summons. Just a lot of heroes that tend to want to run and get, directly in his face. Zayas as well here on the Nyx Assassin. So I think spacing is going to be of the utmost importance. But with the supports here for T1 being, of course, this Tusk and Undying, I think, and of course having Cuckoo here, not to mention, like they've got a really solid front line to protect him.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would worry about is all these summons, right? Like you said, like just clearing them out in lane, in team fights. So hopefully Kuko has a decent game at least, because they're gonna need this anchor smash.
Okay.
And they're putting Lycan mid here. It's quite smart.
What are you looking to avoid here between that mid lane matchup if Nisha were to go mid?
I mean, even if Nisha goes mid, right, it's a fine matchup. It's just
Okay.
maybe a little Oracle favored or completely even. I believe this should be a very Lycan favored lane.
And it's just because the Wolves do much more work here against Oracle, is the thinking?
Yeah, I mean, especially when you start getting up, when Lycan starts hitting level 3-5, I don't see Oracle getting a CS without using a nuke, you know?
We'll see if he'll have the mana to sustain it. Already tanking creeps a ton here is Thompson early, but he did already deal with the Wolves. It's a couple more for him, but a nice little disengage with the Fortune's End. Eager to see how well Thompson can play this. I think Nat said it was the first overall Oracle pick in the entire tournament. Liquid's playing right now. I thought maybe they would have, given it a go. Insania really, really likes this hero, and he really makes it shine. But no, instead it's Thompson mid lane here. So
Yeah.
really excited to see how he gets things done. So far, pretty good. 9-0 versus 7-1. But Nisha is having to skip some creep waves up top lane as a result of, well, just Whitemon existing. This Undying, man, so strong.
Yeah. This is one of those lanes though where Nyx and Leshrac, you will see them struggle early, but then suddenly you get to that point where Nisha gets a few levels in Edict, and the Undying just starts dying. He can't play this tanky role anymore. So yeah, they just have to try to get some levels. But Syek is doing a really good job here, pulling waves. So there's no problem for them at all.
Second straight that they've managed to pull now. And the Undying attempting to, I'm not sure, maybe try and scout elsewhere, but like you say, they just need the levels. Undying, of course, Whitemon, he brought all this consumable regen to lane. He's going to be a little bit disappointed he's not really getting the fighting lane that he'd want.
Yeah.
5 mangoes and a clarity. I mean, he's actually got no permanent item in his inventory. Everything's going to disappear here eventually.
Yeah. What you have to say though is, like, Nyx is contesting Morphling, right? And Undying is contesting Leshrac. And you can see how that pans out on the CS there, where okay, it's evened out a little bit, but Morphling does have quite a bit few more CS than Leshrac.
As it's even with 4 base armor and a decent amount of HP regen, he's just really no match. I think like Fear was saying during the panel segment, Nyx just can't threaten. The nukes are not high enough on Impale. His attack damage is, minimal, less than 50.
Yeah.
And the only other lane we haven't really touched up, hold that thought actually, is top lane. They're making a play onto Whitemon, and it's even a kill there for Nisha, as I'd setting that one up with a really nice Impale.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens. You're Undying, you think you're invincible, but then these heroes with a lot of nukes, right, they get a few levels, and you die.
I wanted to take a quick look down bottom, where we haven't really talked about this one too much, but this was, I believe, a 24th pick Tidehunter into already a basically established Ursa lane. Cuckoo doing phenomenal, though, in these early waves, 17-3 compared to 16-0. Is this going to start to look a bit more difficult as Puppy gets perhaps a second point in Holy Persuasion?
Yeah, and it's also just Ursa levels in general, especially when you have a Tusk as your 4. But the early game, yeah, he's doing a good job. I'm pretty sure they did pick the Ursa into the Tide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Pardon me then. Pardon me. Then yeah, I guess right now the name of the game for Secret is just get levels, right? Because all their lanes, it sounds like we've settled on, have start to get a bit stronger with more experience.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm still so excited to see this Oracle, like what he'll accomplish. Like, apparently he has no problems last hitting here, right? I thought he would struggle a bit more versus these Wolves, but what is it, 27 last hits? That's basically every last hit with my math. So that's really good.
Yeah, probably a couple of extra wolves as well. Wrong summons. I mean, yeah, he gets through these wolves fairly easily, doesn't he? 400 HP on them. They do have really good magic resist, but Oracle's just got overwhelming magic damage, it would seem, at this stage of the game for them.
Yeah, it appears that way.
Doing just fine as well, CSing under tower with Thompson.
Yeah.
On bottom, Tempest or Puppy. Threatening onto Cuckoo. Needs to make sure that Fury swipe stack never gets too high, otherwise that's the only way he really takes a death in this lane.
Yeah. So, let's see. Yeah, I'm wondering if because what I expected was, like, every lane for T1 was gonna get really hard eventually. Like, when you get a lot of high-level wolves on Lycan, like the Oracle doesn't want to be mid. When he gets like you know, upgraded boots on Ursa a few more levels, then like playing for the Tidehunter gets really hard.
Whitemon? Thompson's ganking, sorry, level 6 here. Whitemon was tanking a lot of spells. They also could have killed down bottom onto the Tusk, but dive underneath the tower goes Ana, and receiving the kill is Thompson. Nice little combo there with the Fortune's End Purifying Flames. Down goes Nisha.
Yeah, you can try to dodge him, but come for you. Watch out for Thompson.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in that sense, the Oracle, especially with pretty good cast ranges, considering the laning stage, makes a very good surprising ganker. However, down bottom, they're making a play on a Cuckoo. The TP away, Cuckoo. They needed one more stack there on the Fury Swipes. He will make it safely back home.
That's 0.3 seconds away from disaster. When you die without TP, that's a walk of shame, as they say.
And a very slow walk for the Watermelon. Oh, he's got phase boots, though, actually. Coming along very nicely for his itemizations. But mid lane, some lasting damage done to this tier 1 tower with the first wagon. Rezo already with the Helm of the Dominator. Pardon me, and a Centaur Conqueror showing in the mid lane.
Yeah, so Rezo's farm is really good, of course, as expected. But I mean, Thompson has kept up just as well, right? And me personally, I expected Secret to do a little better in every lane. But yeah, let's see here. Now it's time for Lycan to show his worth.
Yeah, and Cuckoo's already made the rotation over to the mid lane. There's going to be an Impale onto Zephyr. Snowball forced out onto the Wolves, but a nice bit of micro there from Rezo is going to secure him the kill.
Yeah. I mean, you have this... Okay, maybe it's fine. Level 4. He's going to hit level 5 here with Tidehunter. Can probably hold mid.
They're going to go top again. Thompson at least making the rotation over, but is going to continue making his run. Might run into some trouble himself, though, with Zayat and Rezo. Heading into the dire side, though, and Thompson's going to deviate south into the jungle.
He wants this stack.
Oh yeah, actually. Thompson is stealing a stack in the meantime.
Dude, dodging certain death. Like in a Nyx coming from you behind, you know? You just walk even deeper. And steal their stacks.
It's a big stack. It's a triple stack.
Oh, who's drawing there? Okay, so Nisha is drawing. I think he knows. Thompson is back there. Yeah.
This Thompson guy always going 404 on every single mid laner.
Look. Oh, this is dirty. Oh my god.
They're all gone.
Yeah.
Thompson now, all of a sudden, he leaps to the head of the board for last hits and denies. His net worth as well, reflecting nicely, 3,600, as they're going to make the play onto Zayat. Gets off a nice Impale, though, and the spiked Carapace, but surrounded by T1 heroes, he will fall.
Yeah, then that's where you see the Oracle, right? Like, Purifying Flames here maxed out at 7 minutes. It's a lot of damage. And he's also going for the Axe, so that will be cool.
So he actually went for Fortune's End first, as it helps him farm a bit faster with that AoE damage. He's just running into the middle of camps and Fortune's Ending himself to root everyone. And it's working out really nicely. I mean, you saw how it looked pretty convincing, didn't it? How quickly he took that stack.
Yeah. No, the cooldown. Like, I never get the cooldown this low, you know?
Yeah, me neither.
So it does feel really good when you have it.
6 seconds, and yeah, I don't believe it's just 280 damage straight up, isn't it? You don't need to max channel it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty speedy here. Whitemon maybe in some trouble. This is of course a Thompson mid lane Oracle, so he doesn't have the points in False Promise.
Look at that damage on Nisha, though.
But his own tankiness, as Nisha is going to die. Thompson persists. In comes Rezo, though.
Ooh,
it's going to be no cancel ready. The Impale. Oh, the speedy little Centaur Conqueror there with the stomp. In time is going to be able to punish Thompson.
Yep. Very nice, very nice.
Hard to blame him there. I think against almost any other mid laner, you know, Tombstone is going to actually slow them down and allow him to escape, but not against the Shapeshift.
No, for sure. I mean, Secret are quietly taking a bit of a gold lead, but it's nothing major, right? It's just a few hundred gold.
So he'll be okay.
Right, nice.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
The problem now, I guess, is they don't really have anyone to stand versus Lycan. I mean, the Morphling is going to try to TP up here. Let's see. Yeah, I guess he can chase him away. It's just if they go together with Lycan, like a few heroes, 2 or 3 heroes together here, I don't know if they can fight into that. They do have Ravage and Tombstone though, so like, yeah, lineup is not too bad.
I wonder, you know, to deal with all of this magic damage early, taking a look towards the Puppy Chen, who we haven't really spoken about too much. If he's going to end up trying to find one of these small creeps, so the Centaur Coursers, right? What is it, the 10% magic resist aura for free, basically?
No, yeah, for sure. And yeah, speaking of Puppy, he's had a really nice lane. Like, usually when you see who won a lane, right, you only look at the core players. But if you compare the supports here, Puppy's actually ahead of the position 4 with 800 gold. And I think he has, he has mech coming.
There's full mech, 10 minutes.
Yep, very strong.
mech buffed as well in 732. Recipe cost decreased, but I think most importantly, especially early, this cooldown going down by 15 seconds. And T1 dropping a tombstone here. There is no point in Ravage. Now, if they can get a kill, Tide will probably get up to level 7 here, and he can commit for the point. But right now, T1 just trying to run at enemies and not a lot of lockdown at their disposal.
Yeah. No, I guess they can try to like snowball in, right? But it's not the easiest. They don't have the easiest initiation right there.
A nice play by Nisha. Even though he's not the mid laner, of course he knows one of his objectives here is definitely that mid tier 1 tower. He's gone for the sampler build here on the Lesh 2-2-2-1. And coming along very nicely for his farm and experience as he's catching back up after having to split experience with Zayats in the lane.
Yeah. But, I mean, Secret are chugging along. Everyone's getting decent farm here. I guess only Nisha has a little catch up to do, but he's still level 8, 11 minutes. It's not bad at all. And he's a Leshrek, so if there's farm, he can farm it.
He'll find it. And I think that sentry might have just caught Zayats on his way out of its range. For now, I think Secret, they're going to be fighting as mainly 4, but only for a couple more minutes, as Crystal is actually almost completed his Diffusal Blade down bottom. We might see him get a bit active early. Of course, the Ursa already having a bit of a favorable matchup against the Morphlane naturally because of the Fury swipes. You don't really want to shift one way or the other against that kind of thing. But now Mana Burn as well.
Okay, setting up a kill on Rezo here, but he's very fast.
Yes, the root as well was a minimum cast, but very nice ice shards out from Zephyr. Forces Rezo the other way around. Thompson as well is going to go in and false promise himself to not die to the summons, but a nice stun from Zayats, I believe, onto 2 or 3 maybe.
There's a lot of damage on him.
Thompson here. Oh, he's still going to drop. Rezo picks up the kill in exchange for Zayats.
Yeah, no, that's Lycan versus Oracle for you. Even when you have 5k net worth. Just die to minions.
Be a bit painful for him, especially as Secret. Again, Crystal is, not really deviating from this bottom lane at all. In fact, he's going to see this tower go down while he picks up his own Diffusal.
Yeah, no, Secret are playing the map really well. Like, they're gaining a lot of farm. Even though, like, the kills are basically even, right? They already had 3k gold.
Low.
And they're 2 towers up?
Two towers, yeah.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Maybe they'll try to go mid here with no Lycan ulti. But it's not that easy. Puppy's still strong, like he has mech.
Yeah, Puppy is really strong. He did use Hand of God in that previous exchange. He doesn't have that one at least, and he's got to be in the vicinity for that mech to kick in.
But look at these tornadoes!
Yeah. Cuckoo. He has Ravage, as there's going to be the jump onto him. Now, look at that, the Enrage is going to allow Crystals to shrug this one off with a snowball onto 2. They make the jump, and Ana, and getting involved early, is there for the kill. Nisha doing a lot of AoE damage, surrounded by 4, taking them down one by one, but Puppy cannot keep him alive despite his best efforts with the mechanism. As T1 now sent scattering. Wow, the Helm of the Overlord already finished.
Yeah.
Black Drake here.
I think they might have had a little bit of a communication issue there where I think Resolution just finished it and he really wanted to get a nation creep, so he showed up a bit late. And so maybe Secret could have waited before they committed in there.
Yeah, but just look at this damage that the Lesh Nisha gets to do in this fight. 3,100. This is why having some heals, even for some time, there was a Wisp Lesh strat running for a couple weeks. The longer you can keep this guy alive, the more damage he's going to output. It's that simple.
Yeah, no, he's really strong. I think you saw the Ursa there go in and go down, so to speak. I think he overcommitted with the, what is it, the little earth jump?
Earthshock.
Yeah, Earthshock, yeah.
Front flip.
They let the front flip squiddly do. He probably should have kept that to get out. But
Chris, I think he wanted to stop a Ravage from coming through maybe, but Cuckoo just a little bit too tanky in the early game. Now has a Sanj.
It's a Roche though.
That's a Roche without the Ravage to fight. Secret feel like T1 can't reasonably contest, and they're right about that. T1, they make no moves. Instead, they're going to head down bottom where Ana picks up the first tower of the game in favor of T1.
Yeah, that's something. Like, if you don't at least pick up that tower, you start feeling kind of bad. But now you're like, all right. Waiting Ravage, we got a tower. It's all good.
Yeah. And I think Secret have done extremely well with these, like reading the map. Nisha especially has been a highlight for me. Both teams doing it as well, right? Secret are doing Roche, T1 do the best of their space. They look to go bottom. Secret sees them take bottom as they expect. Nisha goes top, takes a tier 1 tower for free. Good stuff.
Yeah. I'm just really curious how these team fights from now on are gonna pan out, because both both teams, they believe that they can be the ball that you can't run into.
Dire's top tower
You have T1, right? They have Ravage, they have Tombstone, and they're gonna have this Axe and Oracle, which deals a lot of damage and heals. But at the same time, Secret have Chen, right? And they have Leshrac, so like it's gonna be this. What is it? Unstoppable force and meets the whatever.
Yeah, it feels like a Secret. They see themselves as the unstoppable force. T1 maybe, especially with Reigns of Destiny now on the way for Topson. Cuckoo, of course, threatening with a Ravage, a Tombstone placed down. They might be the immovable object in their own eyes.
Yeah, because that's why what I expect them to believe from their own lineup. So I'm curious to see when they clash here eventually.
I mean, we might get that treat here sooner than we think. Crystallis showing in the mid lane, where the rest of the team is kind of baiting him, smoked around him. Zayat's planting down an Observer Ward. That's going to see Whitemon immediately. Gets the Tombstone up. They're going to get the D Ward, and happy with that. Zayat's, just fast enough there to evade the Ice Shards. It's Tombstone down. Secret can just wait this one out. Maybe even push mid in the meantime.
Yeah, just go from the left here. So now you've lost your Tombstone. You're definitely weaker. You might even have to give up the tower. So let's see.
That'd be a second tier 1 tower already in the first, 2 minutes of this Aegis?
Yeah, I mean, and the issue here is like Topson is on an Oracle, right? He's not this Ember Spirit free farming while Secret are committing 5 heroes. He's just sitting with his team, not getting any resources.
He's nuking a range creep from Fog.
Yeah.
That's about it. And as you can see, the double Tempest, the rarity. I grew up in the Midwest, Pi, where we had the tornadoes coming. Oh, Lord, if I saw 2 of them.
Double
Puppey.
trouble.
Double trouble from Puppey, absolutely. And down goes the tier 2 tower. I mean, Secret, more or less, it feels like they've been uncontested in a lot of their map movements. They weren't let into the triangle by the Tombstone placed down. But other than that, they'll go ahead and just move as to where they please and take that tier 2.
Yeah, so far a very smooth, easy game for them.
is under attack.
Like there's no rush for them. Like as you said, running into this triangle, that might be maybe a bit too difficult, even though they're quite a bit ahead right now. So they probably should just keep farming like this. They're just constantly gaining gold. Getting more and more ahead.
So you yourself admitted you're a bit of a Topson stream enjoyer. When did this Oracle look at its peak, When did it look strong to you and kind of made you go, what is he doing from that to, okay, this is maybe legit?
I mean, honestly, I'll be honest, I don't ever think it was that strong.
Okay.
Let's hear, they might jump in mid.
Okay. Oh, and they will. And with Zayat's nearby, they've got the kill.
Yeah. So
My
yeah,
bad,
a little bit
my
of
bad.
Topson stream lore. I believe he spammed Oracle at the same time as he was spamming Zeus. And in this period, I think he was losing a lot of MMR, so...
I see.
But, I mean, it's not like he lost every game.
No, of course not.
Alright, T1 getting chased down here.
Yeah, that's going to be another easy kill for them. Team Secret showing off their voice lines as well in the supporter pack. Yeah, I mean, it sounded like, as well from that, I remember from that period of time, everyone was talking about the 404 Zeus. The 404 Zeus, this and that, it's so good. And then even Nisha started really impressing some people with it over at the Riyadh Masters. That's about the time I recall this happening. I don't remember a lot of people saying much about the 404 Oracle, but here's a kill. Yeah,
nice.
Something
Are they
for T1.
Okay, so Crystallis is TPing here. I don't know.
As well, giving chase. It's got a full Bloodstone. Probably the one of 2 heroes in the entire game right now that feels comfortable buying this item this early, especially.
Oh, which one? What's the other one?
Maybe a Storm.
I don't think so. I think this is the hero. And the funny part, right, is that it's completely bonkers on Leshrac. Like, it's so broken. I'm a bit surprised we haven't seen it more. Because in pubs, I have to play this hero a lot.
Zephyr. Oh, he thinks better about going up to that high ground where Secret, of course, are lying in wait. They've got an Observer as well. That would have been a bit of a scary jump to make, especially because Rezo sitting on the last couple seconds of this DD rune. And speaking of last couple of seconds, Crystallis' Aegis is going to be reclaimed. Decent progress here made. Good accomplishments under first Aegis, would you say, for Secret?
Yeah, I mean, they're completely fine with how this game is going. I'll just speak for T1. Like, it's just a bit unfortunate when you pick this kind of tempo type hero mid, like an Oracle, that you want to get your Ags and then go. And then you do finish your Ags, and now it's been 5 minutes with your Aghanim, and you haven't even used the spell once.
Yeah,
so that's not very comfortable for you.
Yeah, and I mean, it's unfortunate for the Oracle. It's not an Axe that's going to help him farm or anything like that, right? It's a team fighting Axe. That's where we'll see it shine. And, well, the only kind of time he's been engaged on, he's gotten 100-0 during the lockdown from Chrysalis and Zayats.
Yeah. Actually, I do think you can farm with it.
Oh, I don't know if I've seen him use it yet.
No, I mean, there hasn't been anything to farm, right? Like, Secret have held the map very, like an iron grip.
Here they go now. Cuckoo. Taking this one off. All the ice shards, though, and every little thing. Zephyr's in real deep.
Oh, here's the
gonna be
axe. Oh, going more. Uh-oh.
Yo, patay kayo dyan. Push kayo dyan.
Wow, that could have been so much worse for T1, and it could have also been so much better. Unfortunately, Thompson got caught by Nick stun, so he couldn't. Like, Anna was going in full glory blazing because he was expecting Thompson to save him, but Thompson got caught by some stray stun, and yeah, Anna just dies. Fortunately, almost all of them managed to TP out, so it's not too bad.
Yep, not too bad. They get a tier 1 tower for their troubles, and still a kill onto Puppey and a kill onto Rezo. Means they don't leave the fight completely empty-handed. But I think any fight that Secret can walk away from and then immediately move onto the enemy side of the map is a fight that honestly they're not too displeased with. A fight that means they don't take, you know, a bunch of tower damage, maybe lose a major objective. They're probably okay with that, as we'll take another look at the fight.
Yeah, no, because what I wanted to say here now when the fight begins, right? You think like this initiation is kind of botched, like it's not looking good. But then the immovable object, right? Like the Secret tried to run in here, but what happens? They have to run away. Look, you can't fight this tombstone.
No.
Look, Nisha trying to man up, but they have to run. But this is when the unfortunate thing happened. Look here, look at Thompson. I believe he gets stunned in the back here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then... Oh, yeah, he doesn't manage to save his buddy Anna. And that's what Anna expected the save there, so very well played by Sayak to get that.
They got to bail out of that fight pretty quickly. Secret, in the meantime, they find a free pickoff onto the Tusk. Nothing too major. Tusk now does have Blink Dagger. He did manage to amass the gold for that. So Snowball save, False Promise, now both an option. We'll keep our eyes out for that one, as Secret might not be expecting the Tusk Blink at this exact moment.
Yeah, no, a very good pickup. I think, do they have all their spells? Ravage and 6? Yeah, they should fight again. Like, there's no need to wait there. And I'm not sure about Secret posturing here. Let's see.
T1 holding a ward.
Yeah, T1 should definitely try to fight there. Like, they should go, go, go. Don't let him get out.
They're going to smoke up. And Chrysalis is going to make it out of the jungle with a Ancient Granite Golem in tow. That one's Rezo's, of course. Zayats as well with his own Blink Dagger. They're out for some more fantastic initiations. He found, I believe, a couple of 2-man impales, 3 even in that last instance, in that last engagement.
Yeah, Roche is up, right? Yeah.
There's number 2. It's always a big one. That's always one that Ursa has his eyes on.
Oh, they cannot let them have this. Like, this has to be a fight. Yeah, second smoke. Smoke into smoke. Let's go.
They go now. They're going to be holding the Ramp of Death. Roche already down to half HP. It's even just a small win if right now they can force Crystals out of the pit, but they can't. Oh, they're not fast enough, Pi.
I think they should fight anyway. But Secrets are smart. They're not like rushing in.
Nope. No, they're really just showing and sacking the Ancient Black Dragon right now.
They're ganking a Black Dragon. Unfortunate.
250 gold. That's a loss that Secret can afford to take right now.
Yeah. No, I really wanted them to go a little more crazy there. Like, should have tried harder to find that fight.
Knights and Crystals, maybe a bit of a hunting duo, but definitely respecting the position in here from T1, especially, of course, with the, I think that's an Observer, yes, indeed, out from Secret on the cliff. Yeah, I thought Whitemon was going to commit a tombstone there to de-ward for a second.
Yeah, I mean, because the awkward part now for T1, right, is just they have one hero farming, and yeah, they're just sitting fight together. So the gold is just going to keep going up and up and up for Secret.
And this Ursa is going to continue to scale very nicely, right, with a free Ag Shard, heading into Basher, Abyssal next. You know, he's got plenty of items he can still really look to go for.
Might have a fight coming here. Ana.
Oh, he's just in. Look at that, right on a white mom, but they can't burst him. He does get the tombstone down to the high ground. Crystallis, disarmed by a second, is going to BKB up. Nisha is going to actually find the stun on the Topson, and he forces the Reigns of Destiny and the False Promise both onto him. Crystallis will find his man eventually here. So down goes white man. They're not fighting on any tombstone anymore as well. As
they're not
Cuckoo now
together.
is being focused onto Crystallis. They get through Ana as Rezo and Zayats, I think, are going to collect him. Topson on his high ground. Zephyr doing what he can with a brief walrus punch, but I think he's not safe here. Yeah, Impale's going to catch him. Crystallis, the last of his mana here for the overpower, and an full team wipe in favor of Team Secret.
Yeah, very nice for Secret there. It's unfortunate, like if you see, right, they didn't even get to use Ravage. Like Ana kind of waveformed away by himself, and then they were split up. And with Whitemon already dead early too. And after that, it's just very difficult to fight.
Yep. I really like Crystallis' jump there. You know, when an Ursa's right on top of Undying, obviously not a matchup Undying particularly likes, despite how tanky it can be. It's a quick decision. Do I put down Tombstone or do I die and save it for the next fight? He decided to quickly put it down, and unfortunately T1, they just weren't really set up around it.
Yeah.
Cuckoo though? Oh, okay. From the trees. As Secret clean up an entire mid lane of barracks. That's the kind of building damage that they can do, especially with the Lesh.
Yeah, so now we're in a definitely despair part of this game here for T1. They do still have a, like Tombstone, they have Ravage. So like what they need is the Ursa to jump in, right? And they need to hit the Halberd right away, I believe. Okay, let's see here.
Yeah, they accomplished that this time, but again, they just end up fighting away from Tombstone, and
yeah,
above our camera here is where Ana ends up as well.
Now you can see it's just they're getting.
Whoa! Oh, they're in.
They're going.
Crystallis
Oh my god!
Topson's going to buy back. Nisha as well doing some damage onto Cuckoo, forcing him out. But at least the more from Ana allows him to find a stun, find a kill onto Zayats. Crystallis on the run with Aegis still for 2 minutes, as Ana is going to end up getting caught here by the split or a stun. Reigns of Destiny here to heal him up as Cuckoo falling low, receives the False Promise, is able to at least get the Ravage off. But Crystallis fighting on through this. That might be enough damage to kill him. Hand of God not from Secret as their heals are coming in. Once again, Topson, he's going to be jumped and killed. That's a dieback for him. Ana BKB, but he's just running for his life. Cuckoo is alive, but they have to call it. This game, it's over, Pi.
Yeah. No, at the end there's just there's too much net worth to fight through. Like you can see their lineup, they're staying alive more than you expect, but 20 gold behind Aegis, it's just too much.
Yep, and yeah, I don't know. On these kind of, you know, on these heroes like the Oracle, that they can feel really strong and almost imba with a huge level advantage that you get in the mid lane. It does feel like you've only got a couple of fights to really get that right before enemies kind of make up the level advantage, and then, you know, you just feel a little bit more like a support than a core.
Yeah, no, a lot was just... Yeah, no, the T1 just never got to use their heroes together. Like, they get the first Roche before he completes his Aghanim on Oracle. And then he spends, what, 7 minutes not using it. And then they have this fight mid that could have like turned the game, but it just doesn't work out quite well enough. And then they give up second Roche for free, they don't manage to contest. And after that the game is very hard to play.
Game gets difficult for them as T1 pull out the Topson mid lane Oracle. Doesn't go very well. We'll see what they have in draft for us for game number 2. But before that, to break down game number 1, we've got Nat T and the panel for some more analysis.
Thank you so much, Seek and Pipe. Yes, we obviously have to talk about the main thing here, that Oracle mid. Kezu, I mean, how did that draft for T1 end up shaping for you? You know, them putting Oracle mid, but also end up not putting that Undying in the off lane.
Yeah, so I thought they were going to have something, you know, cool in store, and I'm always ready and happy to be surprised, which didn't happen this game. I feel like I have to go back to like January. I feel like this is a very big outdraft, one of the bigger ones we've seen. I feel like the second phase is actually it's a disaster for T1. Secret pick Chen. I feel like your response to it is very mediocre. You don't really pick a lot of teamfight, not a lot of damage. And this also shows when Secret doubled down, picking a very free Lycan on 18, because you already didn't answer the Chen. Now Lycan is good. Then you last pick Tide also without banning Ursa. And then I feel like their draft just did not come together for T1 at all.
I mean, throughout the game as well, Chrysalis on Ursa just didn't feel that pressure. But Fear, was there much more T1 could have done with their draft, or you were all eggs in the basket for Secret for this one?
Well, I haven't seen Oracle. I did mention earlier there's a good reason for why I haven't seen Oracle. Not a big believer in the hero. At least they did something different with it than putting on pause 5, because I think it's a weak 5, but looking at this game too, it doesn't look that much better in the mid position. I think they started off with a really good draft here, but I think this Oracle's gotta get shelved. I am not impressed by this hero this patch whatsoever, but I did enjoy a lot how Team Secret made adjustments. Not every team can do this by putting their offlane player in the mid lane to give them a laning advantage here, so that was really smart by Team Secret, and I think that threw T1 off quite a bit in this game. They didn't expect that, and kudos to Secret on this game. Like, it was very smart on the way they drafted. On top of that, their laning decisions are really good. And yeah, shout out to Nisha and Rezo to be able to branch out of their comfort zone and play in a lane that they probably haven't played in months, I would imagine, at least.
Yeah, it's showing that versatility that
with
Secret are able to
Sardinas,
pull out.
Michael,
And for yourself, Team
Demetria.
Panda, I mean, we've touched on the draft, we've touched on that laning, but as we got later into the game, there's some key things that stood out for how Secret were just sort of running over this map.
I think this is one rare example of where Morphling does not have a game. Like, where T1, basically where they were looking for pickoffs and getting their game to roll out, they still had a net worth deficit towards these Lycans, Ursas, Lishraks, and it's like, you guys are going to fall behind really fast if you don't hit your timings early. And with this Oracle specializing in that early game damage, when you don't get the maximum out of this hero, I feel like maybe there should have been some changes on T1's side. Like, I think the Undying maybe should have still been a core instead of a support to kind of give more for this Morphling, have that beefy front to go with. But it just fell flat. Right? I mean, to be completely honest, like, it was a special type of draft from T1, but like Kezu and Fear both said, like, Secret adjusted really well to this, and I believe that once they had that net worth lead, they were not going to let go of that.
I mean, yeah, credit due. That Secret played this absolutely outstandingly, and T1 always trying to think outside of the box. Sometimes it works, it does wonders for them. Other times it unfortunately ends up in a game that we just saw there. But looking forward, Kezu, do you feel that it is a very easy fix and adjustment for T1, that it is this draft thing and, you know, there isn't really too much to worry about?
So I feel like they started off well with their draft. There's nothing wrong with the first pick Undying. You have good bans and you get the Morph on 8. But I feel like if they knew they were going to pick those heroes second phase, first of all, I don't think it's good. But let's say they want to do it again, you need to adjust your bans proper. There's no way Secret can close the second phase with a Lycan there and then close the last phase with an Ursa. So if they want to stick to their comfort, which is this, which I feel like they should slightly swap away from. It's okay to be crazy, but you don't need to, you know, try it too much. They tried it one game, it's fine, and then going into the next one, they should just try to make some small adjustments here, especially in the banning phase.
And I want to go back to the Oracle just a little bit because we saw the Ags come out, Fia. Do you think that was the play to go, that the Oracle build could have been a little bit different? Or you're like, this is a Thompson thing, man, I ain't even going to question whatever he was doing with mid-Oracle?
I mean, that's what I had to go with at the beginning, right? It's Thompson, he's playing Oracle, he always busts heroes out like this, he always surprises us. You know, I don't know what other item build he could have went to have impact this game, like maybe a Dagon or something, I'm not sure. But like, this hero in particular in the mid lane, the Ags, yeah, he dropped in that one team fight mid, and it's like, you know, the rain is trickling on them, you don't really notice much stuff happening, but it is like a debuff on regen and amplification on regen, so maybe in a long fight it could work, but super underwhelming this game. Yep. Normally you see Thompson with a much more standout performance, and I really think the hero selection for him really held back T1's like early game tempo that they were just quite lacking this game.
Do you think if the game did go a little bit longer that we could have seen it maybe shift back in T1's favor, or there was just no way, even absolutely not? You know, that's all I really need to know. Do you, Fand, are you
No.
thumbs down as well?
I mean, I think it will be more down to the Morphling, because we didn't really get to see Morphling actually have a proper game here. If T1 was able to capitalize on those couple kills into rolling out tier 1s going down, choke the map out from heroes like Lycan. Lycan's kind of difficult to play from behind, but then you have Ursa who hits a pretty decent timing against these heroes. Maybe. I think that's a big maybe question because I don't think it necessarily is the Oracle that's going to necessarily carry you the game for it. I think Ana steps in with this Morphling at that phase, but since they weren't...
We're with the best. Let's raise our shields.
Welcome back, everyone. We are about to jump into game 2 between T1 and Secret. But that game 1, the draft definitely did not pan out the way I think a lot of people were expecting. We ended up having that mid Oracle. But one thing I didn't really sort of touch on that I think does deserve a little bit of limelight is Zach on Nyx. Okay, let's talk about it. It was a comfort. It's a big pick for him. But how much impact did you feel he really had for you? Are you impressed? And do you think T1 should maybe look at not allowing him to have such a comfort hero?
Oh, he's 6-1 with it now, so it's clearly working out for Team Secret. It's definitely a comfort pick. I'm not going to say like Nyx destroyed that game or anything because that's not really what happened. Yeah, he had a solid game or anything. I think T1 kind of like self-destructed that game. They tried something, didn't work. He did really well in the laning stage, so he's really good at the hero. And you can't ignore that. So I definitely, if I were T1, I would definitely look into this Nyx and consider banning it because Secret just win with it.
Are there anything else, or is there anything else you would potentially look at Kezu at banning away? And if so, would you kind of let through? You know, that Marcy making sure she doesn't get through, and same with the Shadow Fiend.
I feel like for starters, so there's going to be a couple heroes that you need to give your opponent. I think if they want to have a similar opening, their bans were good. I would more so just worry about later that, okay, you have, this is the strat that you prepared, but that you also prepare further. Okay, so what do we need to do now to protect this hero? And what do we need to ban to protect our incoming picks? I think that is their most important adjustment in the game to come.
Yeah, a little bit of player comparison here between Zephyr and Zach, and you can just see, just by the number of wards placed, how much more map control Secret really had, just how in control and dominant they were for that game number 1. But T-Panda, could there be some change-ups in support? Do you feel like that's where a little bit of impact could come from? Or, you know, I don't want to keep saying the obvious, you know, like to pick Thompson a different hero, right? Because it feels like we're just going to keep drilling that one down. But is there anything else when it comes to supports that could be changed up?
I mean, if you look at it from T1's perspective and the heroes that they've had success with, if they consider this game to be the game to really deal damage, is to go for those heroes that they've had the most success with, which is the Furion and the Veno, which they basically just ignored in that last game. So maybe they shift back to a draft that has worked for them prior to this one. Maybe Whitemon gets to get his Undying 5 again, and they just shift their draft around a little bit. I mean, the Oracle might have been picked a bit too early into the draft. Maybe it put Secret off edge a little bit there, but I still think T1 had some good heroes. Like we talked about at the start of the draft with Fear and Kezu, we're like, that's a solid start. Like you got Undying and Morphling. This is a great way to start your draft and then start building around those pieces. But it felt like they were building a second puzzle tower while the other one is still in the middle of, the basic workers doing construction sites that just leave for another one and start building that one instead, you know?
Okay, so it feels like it just was this wires being crossed sort of thing. It's like, all right, we'll start this one and then we'll move on to that one. But because we know that T1 are going to be having second pick when draft does eventually pop up on our screen. Knowing that, do you think the openers are going to be a little bit different? A Secret going to be able to grab the Undying as an opening?
So the openings will definitely change. I think so far Secret have had multiple first pick, but first pick seems like Secret have less success, at least from first pick. The same has to be said for T1, but I think a switch up for them is good, and I think you're gonna see quite different heroes, I think, in the coming game.
Okay, I look forward to that, as our bans are probably going to be the same. I do believe it was the Marcy, the Enigma last time. Shadow Fiend and Primal Beast were the other bans. Do you go back and ban those again, Fear, or what are you hoping are some changes, or just keep the opening the same?
5 seconds.
For Secret, I think they banned the Primal Beast. You know, I don't know if they forced Thompson onto the Oracle, but like
Oracle
banning
ulit.
the Primal Beast did keep him off of it, where he looks very comfortable on that hero. But they're gonna go for the Undying ban. So looks like Secret's gonna change things up. Puppy's always been the type of guy where he's willing to like change things up, make you. He played one game of this, he figured it out right, he beat you with it, and now he's gonna play a new game, right? He's always kind of had like that philosophy on the game, and he's gonna do it here. He's like, you know, this game we beat you on dying, now I'm gonna ban it, you know, and we're gonna make you play a new game, and I have something prepared for that too. So it'll be a completely different game here, I think.
What do you think is going through the mind of T1 for this ban? What do they want to do now that they banned the Shadow Fiend? Do Secret pick up the Primal Beast themselves, T-Panda?
I guess that's an option. I mean, they have 9 games of Marcy and Primal Beast, and they have had some pretty good success with a first phase Primal Beast, 2 games, 2 wins. But if that is the option that they go for, I believe we're going to be seeing another Morphling draft again, because most likely T1 would like to respond with an Earthshaker potentially, and then you go to the Morph. But I guess they might do some shifting here. Well, they go for the Primal Beast, which I think is a good idea that you bring it up. They might want to take it instead of let T1 have it, considering they swapped the Undying ban.
Okay. And then T1 responding with the clock there, Kazu.
Yeah, so I think to go back to the Primal Beast first pick, I think it's pretty good. As Fear was mentioning, perhaps not the best idea to give Thompson that one for free. Also, Secret have had some success with this one for now. And I also believe that T1, when they place from second pick, their most favored openings have been with Primal Beast +1. So not only do you take it away from Thompson, you make it a bit harder for T1. And to be fair, you kind of force him into a Venomancer +1 opening, because it's actually very tailored. They do this in like every draft. And I feel like this was not, once again, that hard for Secret to prepare. And they have this is a very good Morphling to close out the first phase again.
Yeah, Fear, look, I have to ask you, T1, the Veno, the clock, in, I guess, almost response to Secret now having a Primal Beast and Morph. What is going on?
Well, there's a lot of memes on T1 and their Venomancer, but they've got a 66% win rate with this. Cuckoo has not touched it this tournament at all. It's been Zephyr playing it all the way through, and it's a pretty good response to the Primal Beast in the laning stage. You normally would get on top of someone, trample them, but when you have your move speed like inch to a crawl, your trample is barely ticking. So that is pretty good in that regard. I think Resolution almost exclusively plays this Primal Beast for Team Secret, so T1 might... Yeah, this tournament, it just seems like a Rezo hero too. I know when he came out onto Team Secret as well, it's his flavor. He's playing the Dawnbreaker every single game. I think Primal Beast is one of those heroes for him as well.
T1
that he's just
Secret yan sa
incredibly
lower
comfortable
bracket
on right
finals.
now.
Magkikita
And
ulit
yeah,
yung
just
dalawang
moving on
yan.
to the Morphling, great against Venomancer, great against Clockwork, probably the premier carry of this TI overall, and the fact that it can be played mid. Nisha plays a great Morphling as well, as most of these mid players of this tournament can play Morphling too, so a very powerful weapon here. And yet again, we're seeing the same bans against the Morphling, the AA, the Drow Ranger. I think it might be a very wise choice for Team Secret to ban Slark here too, another hero that's been very good versus the Morphling. Anna performs super well on the hero, he hasn't lost on it yet, and that is also a hero that is very good versus Primal Beast in lane if Resolution does want to pick up that Primal Beast.
I'm just really curious about the way T1 is going to be laning these heroes. Obviously, it's still a bit open right now because Zephyr has played both the Veno and the Clock, and nobody else in the team has. So is this like 5 Clock for White Claw, for example? Do they feel like playing a core Clockwork, which you don't get to see too often? Like, he's a really good support. Does Zephyr go for Clock and they put Cuckoo with the Veno and make the memes come true?
I mean, where do you feel they might align best, Kazu?
10 seconds.
So I think even though maybe only one of them have played the Clock, it shouldn't be too hard for them to make it work this game. I think Clock is an okay laner against Primal Beast from what I've seen. Also, if you want to do some memes where you put the Veno support in the safe lane against Primal Beast, it's also fine. As Fear was mentioning, you have like the Gale to slow him down, and later on the wards and so on. So I think even if maybe it looks a little bit uncomfortable, I think it's one of the easier situations to be put into in the game.
I think there's a bit of flexibility in the two terms they start as well. I mean, if you do end up picking both supports in the first phase, you're kind of leaving yourself vulnerable into the second phase. So at least there's a bit of flex value with T1 start to the draft. But if you do end up putting both of them as supports here, at least you get to respond to the double pick from Secret. However, I still feel like there's a lot of gaps to kind of close in. Like you gotta wait until the 18th for T1 to really lock in how they want to lane these.
All right, hear me out though. Right,
I'm listening.
Oracle Ags against the Morphling reduces healing by 25%. Can we see it again?
Possible.
I mean, look, they're upper bracket. You know, they have a little bit of flexibility.
I mean, they have second
I'm
pick,
just mean.
so
I hope they don't do that. It's definitely...
I'm vetoing this one too.
Because he's like, God, please.
But I
no.
do really want to see the Slark for T1. Comfort pick for Ana. He's looked so good on the Slark this tournament. Going against the Primal Beast, it's good lane, good carry matchup. But they're going for the Faceless Void instead. Interesting.
How do you like the Faceless Void more, Panda?
I mean, you have a lot to combo with it at the moment. Faceless Void kind of being picked this early into the draft, though the Drow ban and the AA ban now kind of makes sense for them that they have heroes capable of creating space for the Faceless Void. His laning matchup is still open. Is he up against the Primal Beast in his lane? Do they put 3 Beast against the Void? Every time he jumps out, he's just going to get charged and trampled, which does hurt him a lot in the laning stage. So they end up putting it as a support or maybe into mid. Potentially that might have Void a little bit of an easier lane. But do they go with a dual melee lane against, Primal Beast, Earth Spirit, for example? That's going to be a rough lane to play.
Because how do you feel about the second half of the draft? We know that's kind of where it all went right for Secret and all went wrong for T1 last game, but is it shaping up to be a little bit better?
So for now, I think with T1 picking a core here, I think it's fine. You want to perhaps mask the Venua a bit more. Try to have Secret show you a little more information on what's going on. So I don't mind the Void pick, especially with some of the bans that happen in the game. They also banned Viper for it. I do feel like, though, that Secret's response is pretty good. I think Enge is the type of hero that, it kind of abuses the fact if your offlane duo may not be as strong, which I think is already very likely the case for T1. And then Earthspirit, just to apply a lot of pressure. Also, Faceless Void, he hates to play against silences, and this Morph Primal Beast, they want heroes that also go in with them or go in for them. So the Secret's response picks are pretty good in the second phase.
Yeah, any insight from you about this closing pick in the second phase for T1?
I really dislike their draft so far, to be honest with you. I think this Faceless Void pick against the Morph, very difficult. You can get the Shard on the Morph and survive. You get the Ags, you take away 70 of his attack speed, and Faceless Void is a hero that really needs attack speed. And I think the lane is very dangerous. Like, if you want to win the lane, you kind of got to max the bash, but then if you have 1 point in your time walk, they're gonna jump on top of you with this Earth Spirit, and you can die easily, especially when the Pulverize is online. So I don't think they're gonna apply a lot of pressure in this lane either. But they're gonna pick the Tiny, probably going to be the mid hero for T1. Tops and Tiny, it's a classic. So yeah, I mean, he doesn't really see his mid matchup yet, so that's probably why he picked Tiny. It's just a hero that's flexible and can just play against most matchups.
Yeah, that's like a tops and comfort as well if he wants to play it mid on this Tiny. He's got heroes that he can snowball off, like the Enchantress and the Earth Spirit. He can kill them pretty easily and get himself a good start for the game.
Tiny having a 50% win rate so far in Last Chance qualifiers as well. I think Thompson, I don't want to throw numbers out there, but he definitely has done well every time he's picked up mid Tiny. And moving into our last picks, what are each team looking to pick up? Because what are some holes in the draft that might be exploited for now?
So I feel like for T1, this might just be their support duo. I kind of fear that the Venomancer may not have the best game. If you put it offlane core, it's okay, simply because you can buy a vessel, but I'm a little bit opposed to it. I feel like T1 should perhaps be looking at a new hero for Cuckoo that allows them to also play fast, gives them a bit more damage in the game. The only problem I see, if they pick some of the traditional melee offlaners, they may not do that well in the lane, like some Night Stalker type. So I could perhaps see. I actually think this incoming pick is a little bit hard. After seeing the bans, maybe then we'll see it. And in terms of Secret, they're going to wait to see what T1 do and then adjust. Because the Morph can still go mid. If T1 make it easy for them to just put the Morphling carry, they'll do that and pick a new mid against Thompson.
I mean, for T1, they've still left the Furion in the pool, which they've mostly been picking in the second phase. Still 3-1 for Cuckoo. Maybe he could pick that one up too.
Yeah, it's possible, but the hero's a little difficult against Primal Beast. Primal Beast just walks out of the Sprout with the Trample. And he can hunt you down pretty easily if you're hiding in the trees. I don't know, it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. It does lane well versus the Morph if he does get that matchup, so that is a possibility.
Yeah, I know we're running with the potential that Veno could be on Cuckoo, so they could actually be looking for another support there. Do you think, Kezu, that's more likely the way to go than picking up another support on T1? Or do you think for now it's most likely going to be a support Veno?
So they could look for a support, but I'm struggling to find a 5 that lanes really well with the Void in the lane into these heroes, and then has a lot of impact in the game. I feel like one of the only 5s could... Ogre, yeah, I could see. I could see maybe like an Elder Titan or whatever. Also, I think I messed up before because it's actually T1 having the last pick, not Secret, so that's going to make it a little easier for them, so apologies on that.
That's why I was wondering about the, last pick Oracle mid. Because they have the last pick of the... No. But what about for Secret? They're probably love to, I mean, when you think about Secret here, like, do they want to lock in the Primal Beast for the offlane, or do they want to pick something else for Reza to play this game? Just reminds me of the first game draft when it ended, and they realized, oh, this Oracle is mid. It was like Puppey and was it Rezo were both staring Nisha in his eyes like, you want to play this lane? And then they did the lane swap, and beautiful things happen. They go for the Beastmaster. He's been picked twice for them, 50% win rate. Win, lose, it's a coin toss, I guess. But the hero's good here.
So Nisha's gonna play the Primal Beast? Is that what's happening here?
I guess.
Because the Beastmaster's a common counter pick to the Faceless Void, right? As an offlaner. Definitely will do a bit better than Primal Beast will. So, very interesting pickup here. I haven't seen Nisha play Primal Beast yet, but I'm sure he's practiced it, or else they wouldn't be bringing it out, right? So, very interesting to see how this lane matchup will go. Primal Beast versus Tiny. Unless you guys think they're going to be putting Beastmaster mid, which I suppose they could.
Well, we will see. I was going to say, we'll see how they're all lining up as, Night Stalker coming out. Last pick there for T1. It is going to be Nisha on the Primal Beast. Now knowing the matchups, everything that's played out, Kezu, do you think this is a T1 lineup that's going to give them a little bit more of a fighting chance, have a game that goes a little bit longer than 27 minutes?
So, I think they have way better chances this game. Also, what I was saying earlier, that Night Stalker may be hard to pick because then Secret still have the option of swapping, but I was stupid. It's T1 who have last pick. So now that they see that it's a Morph carry, I think it makes a bit more sense. So I think the Night Stalker pick does make sense for them, and they have way better chances this game.
All right, so arbitrary numbers, just throw them out there, Phil. What percentage would you be given in favor of T1 or in favor of Secret here?
I'm going to go 50-50. It's going to be the mid lane match of Tiny versus Primal Beast. I think these two heroes are like the tempo controllers of the patch. Whatever one makes some more rotations this game, I think is going to give their team like a huge lead.
T-Bender, are you going to be keeping your eyes on the mid lane as well, or is there a different matchup that you're intrigued to see play out?
I agree that the mid matchup is really important here because of the early timing from both of the mid heroes that we're going to be seeing in this game. But I think in general, believing that this could be the game for T1 to take. So, I mean, it has to start from beating out their side lanes as well, and that comes from their mid laners, so it's a snowball game, right?
Very much so, but we are jumping into Game 2. Let's see if T1 can tie this up as we join Seek and Pile Dive.
Thank you, Nat T. Hello, Pi. Yes, in for Game 2, this time with a much more standard hero in the mid lane for T1. And Nisha taking the helm here in the mid lane on the Primal Beast. Definitely a little bit of just a strength-based, I mash you, you mash me back kind of the mid lane. What are you going to be keeping your eyes on here in this early game?
Yeah, so first of all, it's the offlane, right? The Beastmaster versus Void, very famous matchup where Beast is generally considered to be the counter. And I'm looking at it, and especially with the Clockwork, I'm a bit worried for T1 there. Like, this is one of those lanes that can snowball out of control, where Faceless Void, he does okay for like a couple of minutes, and you're like, alright, that's fine. But then all of a sudden, the Beastmaster is taking the tower at 7 minutes with the Helm of the Dominator, and the game spirals out of control. So the T1 have to stop that from happening, maybe through tops and rotations, or just outplaying them in the lane.
Is there anything Zephyr can hope to do there by like maybe rotating top lane, planting down the plague wards, or is he going to be a little bit more tethered to this bottom lane, supporting Cuckoo especially during that first nighttime period?
Yeah, I mean, potentially he could, but yeah, I feel like he would want more to stick to the bottom lane. But yeah, if he started rotating early, because Cuckoo, yeah, let's see, yeah, it looks like a kill.
Yeah, he took the Boulder Smash here, level 1, which means there's really no way out. Nisha, trying for the deny. Oh, and he's not going to be able to get it. First blood there for Thompson. What a start.
Yeah. And the second thing is, we've all seen Puppy Ench, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he usually ends up with quite a bit of farm. And what happens then is that I think T1 are going to have big problems in just killing him, like as a position 5 Ench. Like, if you look at their heroes, right, they don't have an easy way to kill him. They have to commit a lot of spells. So he could be the MVP of this game. But yeah, let's see what happens.
You always like taking note of the Ench. You're a bit of an Ench picker yourself. What's Puppy going to be aiming to do, though, in this lane as he's currently being run down and battery assaulted by Whitemon?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they put Puppy in here, but I guess this is fine. Yeah, no, he's just going to be auto-attacking people. That's it.
Living a good life, using his ability attack modifiers, not aggroing the wave. I think you can, what is it called, orb walk, right, can't you, with Impetus?
Yeah, I mean, you need a few more levels in it. It's got a 6-second cooldown level 1, right? So.
That's true, yeah, that's true. Whitemon doing good work here, though, in the early couple of levels, at least until the boars come out, then he is going to be somewhat bullied away.
Yeah, another nice part with playing this Ancient offlane is usually none of the camps there are warded, right? Oh, they're getting it? No.
That was close, yeah, sorry, the wild access stack, but of course, he had a little bit of regen. The Fairy Fire will keep him topped up as mid lane. You can see Tanisha and Thompson having a bit of a go at each other. On a tip. Love seeing them trying to contest some of the more, yeah, especially there with now the Roar active. You can see the base damage in this lane is immense.
Yeah. No, so let's see here. Yeah, because what I understand from Tops and Tiny, he usually goes for a very early Ags.
Yeah.
It's his style of playing this.
That's what we've seen so far, and that'll help give some early damage into Chronosphere here for Ana, won't it?
Yeah, and that's like their hope of getting easy kills on Puppy, right? It's that you just because you want to be able because that's how a Puppy plays this Ench. He just baits, and then he lives with the 200 HP, heals up fully, gives vision on everyone, and lets his team clean up. So they have to avoid that.
Yeah, that's true. I think like as compared to a bunch of other supports who. You know, I was thinking about this the other day, like kind of our buyback supports, like a Treant Protector who will just like run up high ground and maybe force a couple of reactions, die, buy back, and still have overgrowth. Like you just want to get rid of the Enchantress. She's just going to be annoying, and especially the way Puppy builds her, it's a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean the thing they have going for them is they can press Night Stalker ultimate, right, and then you just ignore it. So that's the other option. But sometimes he's impossible to ignore. He's just right there in your face.
Something I'm also eager to look forward to is Cuckoo eventually, speaking of this Night Stalker, getting that Ag Shard online. The active on Hunter in the Night gives this hero a lot more staying power in these fights, especially seeing as he's usually the first one to kind of just blink head on into the fights, or just run in and fly, ideally for him. But what's interesting about that is he can, especially during nighttime, you can target that onto Ancients and remove Rezo's creep, as Zayat's is going to die eventually on the tower.
Yeah, those Suicide there, full HP, full mana.
It tops in. Toss, Nisha, not enough damage though, okay.
And Ana is still doing fine top. So like as long as he's farming fine up here, T1 should be happy with that. Wait, what? Because you were mentioning Night Stalker, right? Yeah, like that is a bit funny, right? Because Beastmaster used to be like a huge counter to Night Stalker, but now it's almost the opposite. The same with Lycan. As you said, right? You just eat the Ancient Creep. So I'm wondering if he will go for a different item build.
Yeah,
Ooh,
Whitemon
nice
does-
deny.
Yeah, gets the deny off there. The Skellies, of course, being summoned, helping out greatly there. But Rezo and Puppey don't have a lot of DOTs. They've got to land their big hits there.
Yeah. And like, Ana is doing well in CS, but so is Rezo. And Helm of Dominator is only 900 gold away here.
And so that'll be really interesting. There's going to be a period of time where Rezo feels really strong with Helm of the Dom, and then, of course, Helm of the Overlord again. But at some stage, I do expect Kuku to get that online. Zephyr staying alive down bottom, trading nicely versus Crystallis.
Yeah, kind of funny there. He clicked this Verifier too late, but it was fine. He lived anyway.
It's okay. He's just showing off to I've got one too. On a Crystallis, rather, still holding on to his.
Yeah.
Oh, but a nice creep brought over to the top lane by Puppey as he's holding on to this Ogre Frost Mage, which gives the, of course, ice armor to Rezo. Makes it really difficult and undesirable otherwise for Ana to be trading right clicks.
Yeah, you can see here Puppey's trying to give full experience now to Rezo. Want him to hit at level 5 and then level 6. Every level here now. It's going to be very difficult for Elna to play.
There's a kill. Down bottom, Crystallis jump in now back onto Zephyr. Might pay the price though. It is nighttime here naturally, so Kuku finally putting those 2 points of Under the Night to some work. But, of course, not enough damage here for the Morphling.
Yeah.
And once again, we're seeing this more and more, aren't we? 2 points in waveform and just the single point in attribute shifts.
It's under attack.
Yeah, no, they buffed the spell enough now, it seems, that you can be a little more, like, I don't know if greedy is the right word, maybe it's non-greedy.
Yeah. Efficient is probably what they would say.
Yeah, for sure. Or you actually do something instead of having, like, stats. Okay, rune time. Looks like Secret are on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Puppey just picks up the region.
They'll take that one. Zayats is going to catch a glimpse of Zephyr. Might know that he's warded here, but he'll crawl his way back towards bot lane eventually. Top lane, a little bit of skirmishing. As Whitemon trying to get Rezo here onto the cogs, but in comes actually this Pine Cone. And that's some damage on the Whitemon. The slow as well off from the enchant. Probably holding on to this impetus, but they just don't really have the damage here yet to get through that tanky clockwork.
Yeah. I'm wondering if Thompson will just sit there and farm, right? Or if he will start running around. Oh, nice cancel there.
Immediately into the Pulverize. Nisha still making a go at it, but yeah, they're going to go ahead and throw him back. Mid-trample, and Thompson, that's already 2 tips out from him early game. To Nisha. And there's a rotation as well. It's just Zephyr Venomancer, though. Not the scariest rotation, but especially when you pick it up on a ward here. So it's just going to be then Nisha who goes to stack and farm a camp here.
Yeah. Thompson is still ahead 600 net worth mid lane, though. It's quite impressive. He got the first blood right, so he's managed to keep all the net worth lead from the get-go.
Gotta love Puppey as well, being very annoying, very efficient here as well, just constantly stealing these big creeps. Obviously they do the most damage, as that's a very nice, what is this called again, a Hurricane, to bring Whitemon away. He's gonna have to sacrifice the Swallowing Ripper, but it does do some good work here, and scouts Zephyr rotating top.
Right.
That being said, Thompson's here as well, and that's gonna be a kill onto Puppey.
I really like this by
Very good,
T1. It's as you said too, like even Zephyr is coming up here. Because they don't want to let this Beastmaster have a free game. Just killing the Void, killing the tower. So both Thompson and Zephyr are like, they're looking.
Yeah, and it's a real possibility. You can see Rezo here, he's got him trailing the Dark Troll Summoner, summons the 3 Skellies. A little bit nerfed, of course, of the previous OP iteration, but still very, very good. The perfect pushing creep.
Yeah. Okay, going in there.
Yeah, bit of a skirmish on Tanisha. They will go. Thompson, does he have enough damage? There's the Venomous Gale applied, but with the pig pole, it's going to be Nisha at least getting back safely here. He might tick down to this Gale. No, he's very tanky, this man. Primal Beast. Wow, what a strength gain.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, you're the one who... Okay,
Kuku in trouble. Zayats is going to make the roll onto him. Kuku, a little bit of regen, the stick charge, the Fairy Fire, everything coming in clutch there to keep him alive. Double Bracer build on these tanky offlaners always makes you feel just that bit more unkillable.
Yeah, and it was like, he had a Fairy Fire too, right? Or was it just a stick?
Yeah, Fairy Fire and a stick. As Zephyr is going to have to suffer through the first full Pulverize. Down goes Nisha.
Yeah, I mean, I really like this for T1 though, that Ana is having a good game right now. It seems like he's going for a Midas. So if he gets that up, then like, even if like something bad happens, right, and they get this tower, you're still not, you're still feeling okay because your Void has kind of a game guaranteed.
Tops in the meantime, waiting patiently in the jungle, farming a couple more stacks. 600 gold in the bank with the phase boots. We'll see what he queues up first.
Yeah, I'm curious if he will even go for a blink this game.
Matalo pa T1
So I
dito,
don't
ah.
really know, like, what the
Ganda
point.
ng
I guess
lineup
if,
niya, no?
like killing this Morphling right when he's on low HP is always nice, but other than that, maybe you just go for an Echo Saber first, or I don't know. Let's see.
Lang.
I'm also curious, as Zephyr being ran down and killed, Crystal's morphed into him.
A White Mon eating the Primal.
Yeah.
Yes, no, he tried to cog, you know, but the Primal, he doesn't care at all. He just goes straight through.
And there's Rozo making very swift work of the tier 1 top lane, of
Yeah.
course. Very easy. Yes, Secret deceptively mobile, aren't they? With this Earth Spirit, this Primal, this Morphling, they can really get around the map in this early game.
Yeah. Oh, nice by Thompson, scouting at the ward and catching Sayak here.
There's the toss back. Cuckoo at the ready here with this long duration silence in the night to make sure that it's Zayat who has to die and not roll away.
Very nice play by him.
And Cuckoo as well, this is something we've seen as well, actually, on his Underlord. He's saving his, or rather, committing the 6 skill points. It looks like this time into Void, perhaps that point in the Crippling Fear. So he still doesn't have Dark Ascension, but he's near level 7, and then he can always take that, of course.
Yeah.
Top lane, Rezo, tier T1 rather, trying to give the boot to Rezo as he is currently occupying their jungle. Ana has himself a Chronosphere. Rezo is, you know, stuck on a cliff here, quite literally, so he's not really going anywhere.
Oh, here comes Nisha.
But the kick down, the save out from Zaya. It's a great silence here, prevents an immediate Chrono from Ana, but it'll still come through all the same. Topson a bit lower on mana, repositioning though, just trying to get this clarity of operational so he can get more damage in. There's the pig pull, a trampling pig at that as Nisha trying to catch up to Ana is going to go for more with the onslaught. Whitemon in the meantime finishing off Zayats, the Topson and Nisha. Now Ana still going mano a mano here.
He's so strong.
Yeah, especially with the TD rune. That pig pull, I guess you keep trampling in that.
no.
Yeah, you do, and you're so fast. Especially if you activate face boots too. Like, if it's too bad that Thompson didn't have any bottle charges there, because he could have gotten more spells off, and then they probably would have cleaned up.
That little piggy goes trampling around in the middle of the team fights, doesn't he? That's scary. Nisha here, Topson with not enough mana for a toss back.
Yeah, he's going for the blink though, and he's
top lane, though,
quite
Ana.
close.
He's going to be in some trouble here. There's no roar, looking for the immediate TP away, and they don't have any way to cancel.
Very good.
So what, 500 gold away from Blink on Thompson? Played it really well. Like, that rotation into the jungle is beautiful. Not a lot of heroes can run into a Beastmaster with Roar like that, but Thompson understands with face boots and grow. He has like, what, 14 armor? So he's fine.
He's more than good enough. Even willing to go toe-to-toe there with Nisha on the DD rune. On a hero like Primal, that is, you know, quite the risk you're taking early.
Yeah.
Well balanced there. He did his maths, had that one correct. Cuckoo, maybe looking to connect here onto the mid lane. Level 8 now, does have that point. Excuse me, in the Dark Ascension. Whitemon as well with a hook shot, rocket flare at the ready to do some scouting.
Yeah. Sayak is not quite 6 yet, so... Wonder who got the tome on that team. Maybe they were just low on experience, both of them.
That could be the case.
Because it's a big power spike there when you get level 6 on Earth Spirit. Right now is not very strong.
Getting that magnetize up, of course, lots of damage. I think one cast is something like 550 damage. And, of course, allowing you to spread your status effects to others. But they're going to make the jump now from behind. And in goes Cuckoo as well. The Cogs are trapping in Nisha, but look who's here to fight. It's Chrysalis. He's going to turn into Topson. Gets the toss, but actually gets his mana burn now, as there's going to be the roar onto Topson. Cuckoo can kind of linger in the area as he flies around, but Topson with a 4-man make that avalanche. Chrysalis giving chase, has an avalanche now of his own, and still a toss is just going to catch Topson here. Boulder Smash does catch him as well, and Secret eventually rewarded with 2 kills here in exchange for Nisha.
Yeah, very close there. Nah, unfortunately they had to fight 3 on 5, right? And then, no matter what you do, you're probably gonna end up losing.
But nice reaction there from Secret, right? Understanding that Nisha likely to take a dive here, but it's space and a good kill there onto Topson just before he gets Blink Dagger. So frustrating close. See that that's big timing for him.
Yeah, right. It was like 15 gold away or something like that.
Dire's middle tower
Okay, nice. White man breaking the smoke, but ooh, Sayak just rolls in.
Oh yeah, and they've actually miscommunicated there. They're gonna split the gap there as Nisha charges on through. Another fantastic polarized
Thompson.
cancel as Zayat's gonna die. Thompson though in trouble as Crystallis is still here. And it was the rest of T1, or at least Zephyr and Whiteman, who were focusing down onto Zayat, and Thompson kind of fighting alone.
Yeah, very frustrating. You're dying and then instantly dying again. Just looking at your gold. Just 100 away from Blink Dagger.
He's
So
close. He's close. And then he's a lot more free in these fights, right? I mean, I think we all know how strong a tiny Avatos can be, especially here against a puppy.
Ooh, Anna, I hope he doesn't die here.
And silenced up the onslaught. They did miss the boulder smash. There's a pulverize here. Oh, look how slow he is, though. Anna doing a bit of a dance there, and Nisha offering the high five as a little bit of a surrender. He knows he's been slightly outplayed in that one. Hard kill, though. Hard kill.
Yeah.
And with the Midas online, Ana is quickly becoming the richest hero on his team, at least, but now closing the gap in net worth to the secret cores who are currently leading.
Yeah, but it's still very good. Okay, wait, hook shot here?
Yep. Oh, Nisha and Zayat's both trapped inside Cogs.
But it's
Zayat has
only
his
the two
own way
supports.
out. And Zayat's, doing very well here to tank the gank. He's going to offer himself up as a trade. Offer accepted by T1, and they'll allow Nisha to live. Top lane, though. Big push coming from Secret here.
Yeah. Alright, so Thompson has Blink Dagger coming, right? Yeah.
Basag agad.
Tower, it's too late. It's already gone. Oh, even Zephyr maybe fearing for his life there momentarily as he was hurricaned towards his enemies.
So Secret see this dagger being delivered with their Hawk, I believe. So yeah, they should be ready for anything. But Anna, he's keeping up the farm. And I mean, Void is still Faceless Void when you get this Midas and you get to farm. Like later on he will chrono and someone will die.
Kuku's also just had an item delivered, by the way. Look for him regaining a lot of HP. This Hunter in the night ready to go. Fairly low downtime for what it gives you, 20 seconds. It's very reasonable to use that twice in a fight, and that's a lot of HP here for Kuku to be moving in and out of these fights whenever he's got spells.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Resso thought about that before he decided, because he did. Okay, so he's gone for Wraith Pact instead of upgrading the Helm of Dominator.
Doesn't want to feed that free 300 gold away, I think, or 250 is it?
Yeah, no, there's no point, right? Like you're literally just, you're just feeding gold and experience.
You've got the important part anyway, that damage amp, of course, that you have on the aura of the helm. Got that one ready to go anyhow. So this team will be very happy for him to still have that at the ready. Okay, so the haste for Thompson. Ooh, pig pole, or sorry, the vaults actually. The Tumbler's toy. Zayat's getting caught here as well by the hook shot. Is gonna get a kick out. The tree is gonna get him.
Oh, nice.
Nice there. Nicely done from Thompson as they will collect the kill.
Okay, yeah, so they have the Vlads, they have a bunch. Yeah, so Secret can look at Roche now. Obviously, you don't want to just go for it blindly, but you should definitely be considering it.
Yeah, and T1, of course, with plenty of opportunities to fight around the pit, right? They've got Chrono ready. Thompson is starting the build and the transition towards the Ag Scepter. Now, not a lot of damage until you get like at least a casual Crystallis online or something, but you know, any bit more damage that'll assist Ana in these early Chronos especially is something that T1's certainly going to be grateful for.
Yeah, but even just with level 2 grow, right, and you have the tree in your hand, like it's surprisingly decent amount of damage. It's more than you think.
Especially if they can catch Crystallis before he gets off the strength gain.
Yeah.
It'll be looking good for them.
No, and the most important part of them trying to Roche Rat is this Rocket Flare. So they never have to wonder like how low is this Roche. And they not to speak, they have Plague Wards too, so like plenty of vision around there.
Kuku's also about to get a pretty big item online for himself. The Blink Dagger, operational soon. Doesn't have the survivability of the BKB quite yet, but again, he did go for double Bracer, Phase Boots armor, of course, and that Hunter in the night. As Nisha going for the onslaught in. They want this kill on the Zayats, but Ana he's going to catch two cores at that. Nisha as well as Rezo, but there's not one really nearby. Now in goes Thompson. They'll have a blink onto Nisha. They're going to cut through Rezo. They'll get through Nisha just as easily. Kuku as well with his blink dagger, not blinking in, just simply getting on top of Puppy. DD room, but Puppy so tanky here, very hard to deal with. Especially now he's going for a Hooded Defiance on the edge. Over back towards Zayats, however, he's going to be focused down and caught. Of course, Kuku with all the nice night vision right now with Dark Ascension active. Nice fight there for T1.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Like committing with the chrono there, no hesitation. And like, because it's like you said earlier, right? Like they don't have this easy Snapfire ultimate or anything, so you don't really know where the damage is gonna come from. But like he trusted his team that they had enough damage, and they just clean up there. It's perfect.
An opportunistic jump there by Secret. Gone wrong a bit as Thompson lower on mana, but Nisha's not going to be able to quite catch him there with the onslaught. Careful here though, Cuckoo. Well, it's just Puppy here actually.
I mean, Puppy is gonna come. He's trying to become unkillable here, right?
Huh? He's got that hood.
Yeah. But yeah, if they go on his team, right? Like, yeah, he's not gonna do a lot.
Okay.
He's just gonna stand there and be unkillable.
Big items online though for Rezo. That Wraith Pact, like you said, he did deviate instead of upgrading that helm into Helm of the Dom 2. Simply now has Wraith Pact online. And that is huge. That item feels amazing. If you can get that down as soon as Faceless Void makes the jump in, Chronosphere feels awful.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way for T1 to win a fight right now. No Chrono plus that Wraith Pact. Like they're really bad at fighting into Wraith Pact.
And this Aegis now going to be secured for Secrets. That's going to give Nisha a nice bit of bounty as well to help him close out this BKB. He only needs another 400 gold. Crystallis is already making space there for the Aegis. Goes swiftly into his inventory. Hookshot in, Whiteman with a good effort here. Unfortunately, the immediate silence, and Secret will take that kill.
Yeah, that's optimistic.
Just a bit late. I think a valuable play though, right? Very low risk, high reward.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that's a little unfortunate is that Zephyr has the Spirit Vessel.
Thompson. Mid lane onto Rezo here, assisted by Cuckoo, the silence. But they did get the Wraith Packs down. Oh, no, he didn't.
That's good. That's a very nice kill. I was just going to say, they have 2 urns on T1.
Oh.
Clockwork with his Urn of Shadows, and we got Spirit Vessel on Venomancer, so...
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Don't always see that, especially on the 2 supports especially.
Yeah, no, it's a little unfortunate for Clockwork, because you don't have any gold, and now you're not getting any urn charges.
Yeah, and the urn is like decent stats as well early for Whitemon, but I think he's going to have to sell it eventually.
Yeah. No, but overall though, I'm really impressed by how T1 have played this game.
Oh, they're going to try maybe for a play here on the Thompson. They just catch him with the Pulverize. I think now Thompson in a bit of trouble. He tried to get the leap away, but is going to be killed off as Crystallis jumps in, and that's more than enough damage.
Yeah. He's still quite close to Axe though. Only 700
My
or gold.
goodness, I'm sorry to cut you off, Pi, but Puppy has a full pipe.
Oh, okay. So they just wanna go high ground. I respect that. Because this Void is farming crazily.
I mean, let's like kind of try and tally up some of this damage blocker, the resistor. I mean, we've got Wraith Pact, we've got now Pipe offering that 400 barrier to the entire team.
Yeah.
Crystallis, of course, with the attribute shift. Nisha, Rezo, and Zayat are naturally very tanky, some of the higher strengthening heroes in the game.
Yeah. And just Nature's Attendance too from Puppy.
Oh yeah,
the
the heal. And now, I think they're even going to get a jump here. Very nicely done onto Zephyr. They need to chain summon, and they have. No chance for him to get off the Poison Nova. And honestly, with Ana not nearby, he probably wasn't going to use it anyway, but that's a tier 2 tower for Secret. This is starting to look a little bit similar to Game 1 somehow.
Yeah, I think they're looking to just smash up high ground here. And T1 are desperate here to finish Tiny Ags, because that will be huge for any sort of 5-man fight or defense.
Yeah. Tiny Ags nearing completion, Ana as well. It's actually getting pretty close to this. Mjolnir has now full Maelstrom. That even that Hyperstone would do a lot of work in these Chronos. As he knows he's being hunted. The roll from Zayat, oh, just shy. I thought he would have, maybe could have gotten him there with the level 10 talent, but he already had it. That was close.
But my feeling though is that T1's timings are actually gonna work out there. As you said, the Mjolnir is close, so I feel like he can get that before they go high ground, and they should at least be getting the Ags on Tiny. Yeah, he has it coming, right?
He has it.
And then nice. It's not that easy to just run in, even though you have Pipe, you have Wraith Pact. It might not be enough. Yeah, and Secret are feeling that. They're getting out.
Faceless Void with the BKB, Cuckoo with the Blink Dagger, and halfway towards his BKB, but T1, no, his BKB can't wait. Ana, you're going to look for the fight here, Time walking ahead of his team now as he leads them towards the mid lane, but Secret, they know something's up. Hawk scouts nothing, but the creeps scouting Ana and Secret are going to end up holding the high ground in the tier 2 tower. Puppy in position, daring them to make the jump onto
yeah,
him.
right?
Just try me.
And he has that little 4-step creep, the Hurricane. So, no, when all you see is a little Ench, like, about to walk up a ramp, like, no, that's not the hero you want to go on.
That's bait. I mean, come on now. Of course, T1, they've played a couple games here against Puppey. Ah, there's the tree reveal as well. It'll nuke the wave, and you're right, that is some serious damage. Puppey does well to avoid that.
Yeah, because my question is just, if Puppey's standing among a bunch of trees, right, and you avalanche toss combo him and use the tree body, like, does he die? Like, I'm pretty sure Thompson wants to see, but that's not where you try it out right there.
Yeah, no, Puppey's it's a fan of science, but it's not going to let you perform the experiments on him that easily.
That's too dangerous.
And look at this. Now, Puppey, he's a fan of the fluffy hats. He's got 2 of them now. Magic Wand for some more stats. He's actually holding on to the Pupil's Gift, and of course, as an Intero, that'll give him some agi and strength. He's tanky. 1500 HP? That's not bad.
No, yeah, he was definitely thinking about the same thing. Like, can I live through this tiny combo? And he's just making sure.
Okay, I thought he bought another one, but it's 3 sentries on his courier now. I thought he bought another fluffy hat. Maybe one too many. Maybe he's playing on the winter map, though.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Pipe, 2 fluffy hats, 20 Magic Wand charges. Yeah, let's find someone else to go on. Smoking
Who
up?
else is the ideal target? Maybe Rezo. Zayats as well is holding a position here as he's going to break the smoke, even getting a silence onto Thompson. Link Dagger put on cooldown as well as Ana. In comes the tree volley. Zayats tanking through everything. Chrysalis, though, he's going to eat a hookshot as he actually morphed on into this one. And there's going to be the chrono. It's going to catch Nisha as well, but the physical damage is really not enough.
Waiting it out. They're waiting out ages.
And now the counter initiation. Zayats is going to buy back. Here comes Rezo with the roar onto Ana. They're going to need a little bit more as they've got through Cuckoo. He's going to buy back, but the chain stuns onto Ana are perfect. Down he goes. T1 bailing out from this fight. Cuckoo thinking about if he should engage or not, and he's going to think not. They get Nisha, but unbelievably Secret, they tank through that chrono.
Yeah, no, I think they mistimed their smoke. Because they get the chrono there, they have the kill on Morphling, but he has ages for 1 or 2 more seconds.
Oh, does he
Experiment.
live? Oh my gosh, he actually... Oh, he's still alive, though. Okay, the Vessel applied, and of course, they still have plenty of damage for him, but Thompson... The science experiment, it's going to come at a cost here. Oh, they missed the rolling boulder. That's a bit awkward. Is this an opening? Likely not, especially with the 4-staff create.
Yeah.
Thompson, he'll go down.
No, because they have the kill there on Morph, but he has 2 seconds on Aegis left, right? So they try to let it run out, but he gets to waveform away, and then his team comes in, right, with all these heals you were talking about. Pipe, Wraith Pact, and they just turn the fight.
Very nicely done, and Ana swiftly control. Let's see, what were you seeing here in this fight? Hi.
No, take a look here. So you see, they see the Morphling, they click him, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna chrono him.
You can see that at the top of your screens, 5 seconds here on Aegis. They're trying to wait it out.
And they hit it, and he switches targets, right? But then Chrysalis lives, and he gets a bit of the regen.
And that waveform cooldown. Cuckoo even kind of in position to try and secure the kill, but Secret, yeah, they were ready for that one.
No, it was just it was too hard. Honestly, they needed to wait 2 seconds before they went with that smoke.
Yeah, and you can see in the replay now T1 have done well to deward it, but there was so much vision for Secret. T1 were essentially fighting underneath 2 Secret Observer wards. That fight was very difficult up high ground, especially once the smoke ended up breaking on Zayats.
Yeah. Still a little optimistic for T1 though. Ana still very farmed. But you can also see there, if they land the roar on him, he does die very quickly.
Nice CCs. And speaking of that roar, he's hoping to be able to block that one the next time as it's Ana's Faceless Void, which has queued up the Lincoln Sphere, but he's just getting the ball rolling on that one now. How's level 3 Chronosphere? Anything new for Cuckoo? Not quite yet. He's still about halfway towards that BKB, a little bit more, just needs another 1,000 gold. But the buyback, of course, is going to set him short that much more.
Middle tower is under attack.
It's definitely some pain points here for T1, as it's Secret after a pretty wild net worth graph here. Nothing too crazy though, just 4K net worth lead at the most for Dire. For T1, it's more or less equalized.
Yeah, and let's see. Okay, Secret are kind of moving in because Roche is about like maybe spawn, like they don't know, right? But
that feels like the next
spawn.
objective.
Yeah, but Secret are ignoring it. They're giving up that area and they're moving in here to chase T1 away. Let's see. Puppy is just in the front there.
He's in the front, man. Oh, look at this. He's got Holy Locket now, Pi. Even more. Yeah, there we go. Even more heals for himself. Hook shot is going to find Nisha. Cuckoo as well. Pops the ultimate, but the BKB giving some protection for Nisha. They found Thompson as he's using the tree volley. Silenced up now. Anna as well going on in. The Chronosphere is going to catch on to Chrysalis. And they actually get through him. He's just on the edge of it. The toss he's a little bit more, but he's still alive. And now the roar onto Anna. He gets four-staffed away, but Rezo swiftly giving chase. Puppy actually with 2 kills in this fight. Chrysalis with 1 now, as Thompson's going to be the final one to drop for T1. Secret, they're just too darn tanky in these chronos. They refuse to die, Pi.
Yeah. And Crystal is very smart. He's picked up the Ag Shard. So, and with all this passive defense items, like he gets the Pipe Aura right, he gets Wraith back, like Vlad's Aura.
He can shift in chrono.
Yes. And then it's not enough damage. Even though Anna is really farmed, he cannot kill him.
We'll look for that here in the replay, but I was going to try and ask you that earlier. It feels very similar to like the Ursa Warrior versus Faceless Void, where you just get Ag Scepter on Ursa in that case, right? And then you enrage whenever you're chronoed.
Yeah. We'll see here. He just pops it down.
The strength gain. And it's just constantly on a 500 HP. Ana just beating into him relentlessly, saying he's just got 500 HP. He's just got 500 HP. Why does he still have 500 HP?
Yeah. Exactly. No, I mean, you have to put in the question
look at Science. He's having a good time.
Yeah. No. Oh, they're waxing them now, too, so.
Yeah. Top lane, it's Thompson who will at least clear the wave. But they secure their first Tier 3 tower, and in this meta, of course, Pi, that means you get another Fortify, and that will buy T1 at least a bit more time here. One more fight, perhaps, and that fight likely going to be taking place here in the next minute, as Roche is going to be respawning then.
Yeah. No, that initiation by Whitebone was maybe a bit too deep there. Like, he kind of forced Thompson to go in like perfectly, so the Earth Spirit could just roll on top of him, and yeah, I think you just wait. You don't go for that hook.
Nisha with BKB and Kaya, going for Kaya and Sanj here eventually. That's BKB for Zayat, actually being fetched to him now. As more and more items are starting to accumulate. Rezo with the BKB completed, didn't even need to use it in that last fight.
Yeah. Now they can just sit up here patiently waiting for Roche. Spawning in, 15 seconds.
Thompson has got his casual Crystallis now, so even that casual small crit makes this tree volley feel much, much stronger.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they still have the potential. Like, you can always land a 5-man chrono, right? It's not quite that dire. They don't need a 5-man chrono. But, I mean, if you do land it, you will win. Let's just put it that way.
Secret, though, again looking for a fight, and the roll is actually going to find Zephyr. Not quite Thompson that way on it. The toss back, but unfortunately it just gives Zayat another target. Thompson tree balling on top of himself, using all the trees at his disposal, but oh no, it's not enough. And now Secret immediately back into the base they go. That was just vision off of the Hawk there, and that's top lane gone.
It's beautiful. Very nice initiation. Don't expect that Hawk. Oh, now you have to buy back too.
And Secret are going to respect that. They're going to back off.
Yeah, no. Do they see the Roche? No, but they know it can be up, I think. Puppy seems to be running to scout it out.
And it was a 2-minute. This is a 2-minute Roche anyhow, which is a bit on the longer side. So they'll know. Odds are it's up by now, or it'll be respawning very, very shortly. T1 now have access to that information. Whether or not they can do anything about it is going to be the question. T1 still in this upper bracket here, but down 1 game. Secret trying to close it out, doing it the clean way, very clinical. Even just waiting, maybe for some more cooldown, some more BKBs before they dare contest this Roche versus T1. They know that there's still, of course, this Chrono ready to use for Ana. Thompson, if you can get that tree volley into a 5-4, even 2-man Chrono, it's a very well spelled disaster for Secret in this fight.
Yeah, I wonder, can they even contest it now? I think they're too far away. It seems like they're just giving up this Roche.
Okay. So I think they've shifted, right? Contesting Roche to maybe some high ground defense instead.
Yeah.
Aegis Ag Shard for Nisha, so he's got now the rock throw.
I got it.
Primal Beast, he's moving up the evolution tree. He's starting to use tools.
Yeah, first rocks, then fire. Then you watch out.
Careful.
No, T1 are now in a very awkward position. So if you don't take that Roche fight, you start feeling very lost, right? Because there's no clear-cut way for you to fight anymore, except if Secret just headbutt against the high ground. So you can see them here trying to surprise them a bit, maybe, like just camping this ward.
you know, we've seen a couple tiny games, some Venges, 4-staff Spat Riders. A lot of the times when it starts looking a little bit worse and worse, we say, well, we're looking for some tossbacks really deep away. Is that still something Topson can look to do as he cuts another wave mid?
I mean, he can, but no, I prefer not. Like, you don't want your second most farmed hero, right, to just... Because you're gonna die. When you toss back, you're dead.
It's a very different role that Topson's playing compared to the 4 tiny you're saying, basically. Okay, I see that.
He wants to get a lot of spells off, right? Like, he wants to use this tree volley more than once.
Yeah, I actually think some consideration for him now, especially as we look top lane very briefly towards those mid lane of barracks. There's no trees there, right? Topson needs to be quite aware of where he's taking these fights. He needs trees. He needs ammunition.
Yeah.
Ooh, Sayek. He's going to be caught. He's got BKB. He has teleport. He's going to turn, actually. He's got Chrono. Wants to fight into this one. He'll take a kill onto Zayat.
He's going for one more?
Maybe if he gets permabash here onto Nisha. No, not quite. And Zayat's going to buy back, but the rest of Secret now looking to close the gap. Nisha!
Oh,
the Lincolns. The Lincoln saved him.
Very nice. No Chrono now, and he buys back, right? So they just want to rush it up to the high ground.
And there's Aegis, and now even Crystal's here in the triangle. He finds a man, Whitemon, hoping maybe for a hook shot out, but no chance.
Yeah.
Too much damage there.
No, Secret are very fast here with what they want to do. 2 minutes now without Chrono, so let's see.
2 minutes. Ana trapped in the base now. T1 in a bit of a difficult position. And the thing is, again, because Secret know that Topson needs trees nearby to go for the volley, look, they're already pinging. I think they know he's got to be standing over there. That's the only place he can reasonably stand and have enough trees. There he goes. He's going to miss on those trees now, and Zayat, he tried to predict where he was at. Unfortunately, he's off the mark. Topson's going to blink away safely. No counter-engage here. The toll booth as well being erected by Zephyr, immediately cleared by Crystallis, not dealing with those plague wards. Puppey on the high ground, by the way, as Topson with another blink back. Crystallis waveforms on in. Cuckoo pops to the BKB. Secret just disengaging though. Puppey, look at it. Look at this guy. He's in deep. He's playing like he's got Aegis.
He's so tanky.
Look at the heals as well on the Crystallis. Shifting a bit more now to the Agi for the effective heals as Puppey pops the Hood of Defiance. Ana going in, but of course without Chrono. He's a bit weaker, but the Rock Throw is going to catch him with the Pulverize. They've broken the Lincolns, and they've broken Ana. Down he goes. Zephyr immediately is dead next. Crystallis is going to get a second. He's going to buy back, though, at least on the Venomancer, but Cuckoo has no BKB. He's got to be very careful here. Crystallis as well has morphed into the Faceless Void before claiming his life. As Topson finding whatever trees he has left. Crystallis thought he was actually going to time walk that off, but maybe on cooldown and instead focuses onto the barracks.
Yeah, no buyback, right? No.
No.
I wonder if Secret will just... Puppey's very low on resources though, but... Yeah, maybe they just back off here. Just play it safe.
Quite a bit at stake here, right? If Secret find a win, they're into the upper bracket finals, and because we have 2 teams qualifying through the last chance qualifiers, that effectively gives them what, at least 4 games to get in, well, 2 matches and, and an entire.
I like to do really good math, like 50-50.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They like those odds. I like those numbers.
Yeah.
T1.
Oh, they just want to go here.
Last lane of barracks, Topson using whatever trees he can, and Crystallis actually nearly dying, but still has Aegis the whole time, and now they found Cuckoo. It's got BKB and a nice interrupt there, but it's going to cost the life of Whitemon. He's got buyback, the roar onto Cuckoo in the last seconds of his BKB is going to allow Crystallis and Reza to beat into him. Down he goes, does have buyback, and there's Faceless Void responding in 5.
This is the last rights here. They have to figure something out.
Topson, he doesn't have very many trees though. He's just standing near the almost the only one in the base. He needs more ammunition. He needs to go in, looking for a tossback. He'll have to settle for Puppey, as in goes Ana, but Puppey with untouchable, he doesn't even care. Cuckoo onto Crystallis, Aegis up in 18 seconds, so Crystallis happy to fight, happy to even die in this one, as Zayat and Puppey fighting back versus Topson and Ana. That'll recall Zephyr on back, as well as now even Cuckoo. Aegis has been claimed at the very least, but Crystallis responding with full mana and HP, and Tier 1 looking worse for wear as well, as there's the damage. Down goes Cuckoo, down goes Whitemon, 2 dies back, Chrono onto 2, but there's just no trees for Topson, and Rezo's in onto him. He can just offer an Ava toss in. Ana now stunned immediately after, as Crystallis jumping on in. The bashes nearly condemning Ana. Zephyr falling low, gets off the Poison Nova. That's his dieback. Topson doing what he can, at least has a couple of trees, but Crystallis even fighting into him now. Ana trying to save his teammate here, and Crystallis falling low, but Puppey keeping him alive with the Nature's attendance, and everyone on T1 is dead. Secret, they get the 2-0. They're moving on to the upper bracket finals.
Wow. Very well played by Secret. Extremely impressive. This, like, snowballs from yesterday, right? Like they had 2 games where they had to fight and claw their way back, and now they're just riding the momentum.
Okay,
Absolutely destroying T1, to be honest. Making it look easy, like clear ideas and just very good drafts. And
Very
play.
good drafts, and you can see lots of relief there for Secret as now they know they have 2 chances. Of course, T1 not out of it yet, but a little bit less in that comfortable zone now as, well, they're going to be playing later today for 1, but also are going to be fighting for that 1 remaining slot available to them through that lower bracket finals.
Yeah.
Dilakdakan, cancel.
See.
I think Secret will be quite happy with that, but you can see it's a reserved amount of elation, right? It was a clean series for them. They're certainly going to be happy to get those 2 chances now for last chance qualifiers, but as of course we've changed appearances, there we are a little bit. They certainly, yes, they stole Morph and they morphed into us there. Thank you, casters. I mean, off of that Chrysalis Morph as well. I mean, who wouldn't want to be trying out some Morphling as well in their pubs? But Secret are going to be the ones moving on. Well played to them. They're looking like a series contender. I think a lot of people might have had them as favorites and selected even the compendium. It's a shame that T1 have to meet such a strong opponent here in their side of the bracket, but they're not. They're down, but not out.
No, for sure. And it's not. They weren't completely outclassed, and they can look at their game 1 and completely blame the draft, right? And game 2, yeah, there's some things to go over, but overall, Secret clearly the stronger team.
Absolutely, as they'll claim 2-0 victory over T1. Puppy on one last ride, perhaps trying to get still to every single TI. Needs to win 1 more match now, the way things are looking for him. But to break that series down a bit more, we're going to go ahead and throw it on over to Nat T and the panel to break it down.
What a phenomenal series casted by 2 amazing people. Thank you so much, Seek and Pi. But it's right, the dream for Puppy continues as he still has a chance to be able to make it to every single TI. Secret are 1 best of 3 away from booking that ticket to TI, and they're looking in great shape. I mean, they're able to take this series 2-0 against T1, and for you, there was this early part of the game that didn't look too bad for T1 up until maybe the 18-20 minute mark, and then it kind of felt like the Secret show from there. But looking at that early game, Fear, how did it play out in your eyes? Was it the matchups you were expecting?
Yeah, I spotlight the mid matchup. It was the Tiny versus the Primal Beast, 2 heroes that Thompson plays extremely well. And he got the better of Nisha mid. Like, we haven't seen the Nisha Primal Beast very much, but Thompson won the lane. I was a little afraid that he might get out of control this game, but then Nisha on his Morphling this game, out of control. Like, his rotations in the early game twice secured 2 kills onto Thompson in the early game that just completely stopped his snowball, and that's your carry participating in the early game here. And I gotta give him a big shout out on his performance. It's a great morph performance throughout the whole game, but not only that, it was just like his early game performance was just phenomenal.
And for you, Kezu, as well, there was a little bit in that earlier to mid part of the game that was kind of surprising.
Yeah, like, so what happened in the fights is T1 are actually doing very well. Like, now they're fighting with the Night Stalker ult, and then we had a really good chrono here by Ana as well. As Fear was mentioning also earlier in the game, huge props to Chrysalis. Some of his rotations were really on point, like when he TPs mid to turn into the Tiny and get some combos off. But for me, it's more, so here Secret claim Roche, for me it's more about the Aegis fight and the one after that. I think if T1 want to win these type of games and, you know, like get to go further in this qualifier, those are the type of team fights that you need to be able to win. It's like where the Aegis is on very low timing. If they execute it a bit better, they can win. And there was a similar story in the follow-up fight as well, where they didn't use all their spells like on the same target.
Void to almost get Chrysalis down, and they were just 2 seconds, literally 2 seconds too early with it, and we could have been seeing a very different result. In fact, we might have even been going to a game 3.
Opo. Take a bat. Opo. Take a bat ka ba? Gusto mo na ba? Huh? 11. 10. 11. 10. 11. Oh. So 10, no? Use.
Mask of Madness does a huge amount of damage output. I think once that's finished, they can maybe look for a lot of kills. But for now, all of Liquid are pretty far away from the timing that they want to hit, whereas VP are definitely feeling more online. The BKB just now finishing up for Primal Beast, and this Furion is farming up a Storm as well. He's really flying ahead in net worth.
Foxy does get a find on Yamashir in the top lane, get the roar off, so it's a nice quick pick off. We've talked about how these kills are helping catapult Matu forwards. So it was a nice scout out, and of course Boxy working towards that. Oh, he's changed his mind. Okay, he had the blink dagger queued up, but nope, he changed his mind again.
Put it back again. Yeah.
I'm being trolled.
GPK coming in around here with the BKB. Could look for a big fight with this Disruptor, but they don't see many heroes on the map now.
A gift from the tempest of battle.
So they're gonna back out, they're gonna chill. Meanwhile, of course, Liquids, they're not on the map because they're also smoking, so they're smoking over towards top. And looks like it's gonna be a tier 2 versus tier 2 siege. Both teams quite fast at pushing. One side has the Bear, one side has the DP ulti and the Furion treants.
I think this bottom one probably goes down a little bit faster. In fact,
They also don't have
how fast
glyph.
it's melting.
Yeah, that's the difference. No glyph means this tower falls immediately.
Does VP come up and defend this then, or do you think they push further?
I think they all would need to go there if they wanted to. I would probably keep going a bit instead of going top. Seems dangerous to TP into an already sieged area, but they are very strong, so they could play pretty confident.
I wasn't sure if when you've got like the half of the exorcism still up, if you try to make that call, take full advantage of it.
Yeah, no, I think she's also super close to BKB, so it makes sense to try and avoid fighting. As we see a haste from here on GPK.
Uh-oh, Bear! Oh no!
Eldoge!
Eldoge! 300 gold for GPK. He's got to be very happy about that.
Yeah, wanted Eldoge, 300 gold bounty.
Yeah, PETA does not like this game.
Koda not gonna find Boxy as he runs up instead, hiding in a tree line.
Alright, well, nice pickoff here for the side of VP. Already, though, we do have a resummoned Bear, so won't slow down Matu too much, but that is a nice golden fusion for the Primal Beast. Do have the Desolator online, though, so perhaps we shall see some more pressure coming out from the side of Liquid. Still a ways away, though, from that Aghanim Scepter from Mickey. And the Blink
I worry a
Daggers.
lot for
Still ways.
I worry a lot for Liquid here because I feel like they are not necessarily going to hit a point like in last game where they were definitely just going to be stronger past a certain minute mark, because all of VP, they scale pretty damn hard, and Furion is farming so fast.
Sometimes I feel like Pudge becomes like a little bit of a liability. Like it's a calculated risk that you take when you bring him into your draft, just because of the fact that yes, he can become very powerful, but he's gotta have enough time to get the farm he needs, and he's not the fastest of farmers, really.
Yeah, but the same thing can be said for the Lone Druid as well. So they have the Lone Druid and the Pudge, who both are quite slow here. And then the Leshrac, of course, being the one they can play around, but he's also taking a more farm-heavy approach. So Liquid are mainly trying to push out the lanes all the time and buy themselves more space. But I feel like VP, they're not going crazy. They're actually just slowly and steadily increasing their advantage, now up to 6,000 gold. They know they're in lead, but they're not just chasing kills non-stop, because they're
like stronger. They're still using the area they have. Yeah, triple BKB done now on the side of VP. Every single core has one. That does mitigate all of Zai's impact. Zai will really struggle to do anything in teamfight, and even something like core Pudge against all BKBs, it's pretty hard.
They're baiting Zai up here. They're hidden. They see that GPK just used the Pulverize, so they could potentially make these moves. As the smoke does come out, not going to be able to quite land the hook. They'll drop the Static Storm, but Zai sidestepping to the side will be able to get the kill on Koda. Koda buying back as the Exorcism gets used. Mickey's side can turn back around though. They get their hands over on GPK, and they're able to burst him down. Chase after DM with the Spirit Bear. Trying to get their hands on him. A little bit of a toss with Yamish. Mickey's just not quite landing these hooks here, but the team is picking up the slack as they did manage to kill off the Primal Beast.
A little bit too patient there, greedy with the BKB duration on Primal Beasts. I think when you have that 9 seconds, he really can't let it get wasted like that, because they have chain stuns on Liquid, right? If you get feared, if you get avalanched, if you get stunned by Leshrac, you can definitely die still. And that's what we saw. The damage output is pretty high from this Desolator L Doge. And even a hero like Primal Beast can get shredded.
Well, I think that definitely propelled Liquid forward after that fight, and it's this poor little Disruptor ending up buying back. Probably going to feel a lot poorer than he did before. Won't be able to land the splitter for around Hakoda, but GPK coming forward, sees himself Zai, pops his BKB. Nice save, though, coming out from Insania. They're going to try to just kite GPK as much as they can. Boxy with the tossback says, get out of there, get down, Mr. President. Matu's Bear chomping away over at Yamich. Zai eventually, though, will end up falling. And now they have to get El Doge out of Doge. As there's going to be the run forward from GPK. Another 300 gold over to this Primal Beast as Virtus Pro hits back hard and fast.
Yeah, smart by VP to keep asserting pressure because they have all these BKBs and they want to hit this timing hard. Right now, Liquid are not quite ready to fight. So they win the fight, but it's not a massive win, not enough to secure themselves a tower. I like the impact the Shadow Demon is having, by the way. Something we didn't mention during the draft, of course, is that while he counters the Death Prophet with his ulti, he does the same thing to Primal Beast as well. He wants to walk around and trample all over people. He cannot do that if he gets ultied by SD. So he wasn't able to move around in this fight, and he just didn't have any DPS going on onto the Leshrac there.
It's always nice to have something that pierces magic immunity as well, so very smart pickup for this game.
Yeah, he also went with the super early Aghanim Shard, similar to playing the SD to Witch Doctor. You go Shard first item, so now he has the defensive Dispels available. Pretty great against this team of VP. Against the Silence, against the Searing Chains.
Alright, this is big. Mickey just completed the Aghanim Scepter. They're in the Roche Pit. They're going to want to fight this, and they have no idea. Okay, the smoke does pop on Zai. They are aware of what's going on around the pit. They still don't know who else is there, and they don't know that the Ags is completed, although I'm sure they have a general idea. Question is, how do they want to approach this fight?
Yeah, there's a lot of creeps on bottom. Someone has to go and react. They're going to go with a Pudge. So that means the top part of the map now is pretty free for VP to contest.
Oh, they use the Exorcism.
Pudge is running back. Maybe they can be there in time.
Run! Run, Pudge! There's the toss back, though, over onto Yamich. Immediately followed with the Avatos to get a root off. Yamich is no longer available. Zai sitting outside of this Roche Pit. Tries to go for that splitter. Not going to be able to quite land it, but Zai gets trampled on his way through. As he's going to have to use a Yule to try to survive. Hakoda will end up falling. They're doing a decent amount of damage, though, from GPK as he gets onto the backline. They get the kill over onto Zai, but Matu runs into the pit, manages to get the kill on Roshan after all those Exorcism ghosts are done, and gets himself an Aegis to boot.
Oh my god.
Oh,
nice,
that would have
nice
been so
attempt.
sick. That would have been so sick.
That would have been cool if he caught
GPK,
him.
a little bit out of that range.
That was a really smart play by Zai, just going in there, running into the Roche Pit, even though he knew he probably will die for it. There are BKBs on the side of VP. He can't rely on his spell Lifesteal from Bloodstone because he won't do any real damage to the heroes. But he had to go in there just to contest the Roche from going down, forcing those BKBs early. And in the end, Liquid are able to take a great fight on the back of this move.
Alright, well, BKBs are now on cooldown. It looks like almost have the Assault Cuirass for the Nature's Prophet. GPK looking to go and get himself that Blink Dagger for better initiations. Still a 6k net worth lead for the side of VP, so they're definitely still strong. But it feels like a little bit scary as Liquid makes some of these moves. Okay, alright, there we go, Mickey. Mickey lands a hook. Doesn't manage to finish him off, though, unfortunately. Yamich still alive when all is said and done.
Yeah, he manages to get out. One good thing about the Pos 4 Ember is he's very elusive and hard to lock down, so he gets out. But looks like Liquid are finally going to be able to get themselves a tier 2 tower. Only a second tower they claimed in this game. So they are behind still in gold, but they have more gold to claim on the map in terms of towers. And they're strong enough to do that now with the Aegis in their hand.
Ramsey's completed the Assault Cuirass. He's just going to do Nature's Prophet things. He's going to try to make them respond, push them home if possible. Who's most likely? Is it just going to be... Are we going to see Zai pick up like Boots of Travel and try to... Ooh, okay, Wrath of Nature hits pretty gosh darn hard over there.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him grab Travels like fairly early to be able to go back for this, but he also has items that he wants. He needs a lot of things. He wants the Sanj and Kaya, it looks like right now, to amp up his lifesteal and make himself tankier too. Oh my god, that tower melts.
There was a tower there.
Yeah, the Lone Druid is getting real strong. He also has the Shard on Lone Druid now. It's one of the best shards in the game, I would say. It's insanely useful. The Savage Roar, bonus movement speed, bonus attack speed, and it also gives you the Dispel.
Definitely very valuable. We saw just how fast that you can move with this bear with the attack speed. Alright. Smoked up over on the side of Virtus Pro as they make their way towards their jungle. They know that Liquid is there. They do not have Boxy. So perhaps they can take advantage of this as Mickey hiding in the tree
VP in
line.
good position.
Deville over here. Jump forward from Mickey, but the silence coming up from Hakoda almost instantly. Go for the exorcism play. They're trying to get as much damage as they can over to DM, but it's not looking too good as Insania over on the back lines is going to end up falling. Matu, that Aegis going to get used. The hook from Mickey, but there's going to be the pulverize from GPK as Ramses, though. Split Earth cuts him out over here from Zai. They'll be able to collect that kill. And now DM, he's out of mana, but it's doing a lot of damage with these ghosts. Zai has to be so incredibly careful as the slide comes through from Yamich. Will be able to clean him up. They're going to push back the side of Liquid. If they over-pursue, perhaps they can turn around, but there was just too much power going on from the back lines here.
Promising start there for VP. Their positioning was good, but very fast reactions by Liquid. Everybody's scrambling to get to where they needed to be. They get the Lone Druid and ulti out in time as well, so he cannot really get killed as easily. And Zai had big impact in that fight again. He did overextend a bit towards the end, though, feeding away a kill. He could probably have played safer, but VP struggling in these fights right now.
Do you know if he... Okay, 1 second. Hold that thought. As Insane, he's going to have to protect himself. Mickey's here, though, but the pulverize, he just gets beaten down with Mickey's body. They turn it back around, though, and they'll be able to use that dismember. I was going to ask in that top fight, did Zai have the Yule still available? Was he trying to just push his limits?
He had the Yules, but I mean, he died to a Sleight of Fist coming in towards the end there, so hard to react to that damage coming in. But he had it. That felt a bit like a throw almost by GPK, going under a tier 3 tower like that, by the way. As they find one more kill.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Perhaps he felt like he could be a little bit more tanky, or I'm not sure. But...
Yeah, it's just he didn't have BKB ready, and he's going under a tier 3 tower for a support kill. He did get it, but he fed away an important kill over to Liquid again there.
Alright, well, what do we have? Any new item updates? That Hood of Defiance over on Mickey. He's got the Blink she's had. Poor Insania has had like the same items for don't know how long. Hakoda though, again, big dreams for a little disruptor.
Yeah.
Does have
Almost
the point
full,
booster and the ogre.
Tower
Next.
is under
Yeah.
attack.
Almost full Assault Grass coming up soon for the Lone Druid here. He only needs 700 more gold.
Do you have the Shadow Blade over on Ramses now? So we'll be able to get perhaps better positioning. We'll use the Heaven's Halberd over on the Bear. I think that's a good call considering how much damage he's been able to do. GBK jumping onto the back lines. That does find Insania, but Insania still alive because of a good avalanche. But there it is. Ramses jumping in. BKB popping over here on the side of GPK. So is Ramses. They want to try to take out this Bear. They know that that's a lot of that damage. So they'll end up getting it. There's a hit though over onto Yamich. They'll figure out, get that kill again as Matu sitting so very low. He's trying to survive, but GPK, he runs through. They'll be able to get the kill. Ramses ticking down from too much damage coming up from Zai. They're not able to take him out fast enough. Mickey barely alive over here on the side. Look at that beautiful split earth as they clean up two on the side of VP.
Oh my god, these fights are so crazy. It's just everyone
cool.
running right on top of each other. It's absolute chaos. They do bring down Matumba Man's Lone Druid. He stayed alive for a long time despite the lifesteal of his Bear as he kept hitting while he tried to run with his main hero. But Leshrac was the uncontested hero in this game, or in this team fight. He was just doing all the damage.
Yeah, let's look at this replay because I definitely want to watch that last bit of the fight. So the Static Storm doing quite a bit here. Got the double silence out too. Chase after the Bear.
Are scanning.
The split earth though, hitting over onto two, popping the BKB over on DM. Like, yeah, look at that. Finally they clean up Matu. They finally get him. But this is a big moment coming up over here on the side. As the Yule's coming into play. Hakoda's there, the split earth. Mickey jumps forward. Man.
He
Look at
tumblers-
Aiden.
Hakoda
The
tumblers
excitement.
toyed into the Yule Scepter, by the way. He was trying to reach something else there, and when he tumblers toyed, he was right next to the Yule's ending and just got split earth. So it would just have been a one-man stun, but he kind of hopped into that one and made it a two-man.
I'm sure he's kicking himself for that. He's probably
Yeah.
trying to like get a save off or something, but sometimes that's what happens.
Yeah, tunnel vision will get you.
Well, indeed. Only 1k net worth lead over to the side of VP at this point.
VP were in such a dominant lead early on here, but Liquid, we talked about how they wanted to be greedy and take the time to farm up and get key items. They're hitting a lot of these key items now. They're, finishing up the full BKB, Aghanims, Hood, and Blink on Pudge. He's starting to look like the absolute unit that we can see him become. And he scales really hard into late game. But this game, what surprises me is how Zai is becoming a pretty dominant force in these fights.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of the times he's just being allowed to run around in circles and not necessarily get focused down. Whereas in the previous game, there was a lot of priority over on the Visage, it felt like. But this time, he's definitely getting the chance to shine as they'll find an opening on Hakoda. And that's
Yeah,
a
a little bit
nice
too
pick
close.
off. Now, I do have a question for you, because VP was looking so dominant early game. What exactly happened? Were they just not aggressive enough? Like, I felt like there was plenty of aggression, especially coming out from GPK, but they kind of slipped up a little, I feel, like, with their timings, because now Liquid has had the time to get the items that they need. Zai blinking forward. Oh my goodness. Running right in. Mickey, though, looking for the hook. He's going to get science. Turns back around. Has the dismember over on DM as they stun GPK up with an avalanche. BKB's coming out from both sides now. As Foxy in the middle of everyone. They drop the Static Storm. They'll get the kill on Foxy. Mickey also going to fall now because he went very early on. Zai, though, again, look at this guy. He's being allowed to get so much out of these fights as he's chasing after DM and GPK. A little bit of a save over on the backline from Insania, trying to keep Matu alive as Zai splitting this fight, but Matu gets held up into the trees. Not going to survive as now Zai, he's gone too far. He's too far alone. He is going to end up finally falling. And Virtus Pro will hit back very nicely with this fight.
Wow, Ramses was completely enabled in that fight. He was able to just stand his ground and right-click. It was a pretty hard ramp to go up for Team Liquid. It's always dangerous to go from low ground to high ground because you get squeezed into these tight ramps, and it's difficult when the opponent have a vision advantage over you as well. But Ramses on his Fury was just allowed to stand there and auto-attack non-stop, and he pretty much beat down everyone in that fight.
Now, I have a question for you, because I just noticed this during this last fight. I think he had it a little bit earlier, actually. We do have the Ag Scepter picked up now for Primal Beast, and I know that you weren't 100% sold on it the last time you saw.
Yeah, I'm not completely sold on this Aghanim Scepter, but, you know, I have only seen it so many times. And the question is really, what other item would you want to go, I suppose? As he already has the Kaya Sanj, Blink, BKB, and you usually don't need too much more on a core Primal Beast. Like, there's no one crucial item. So I suppose it gives him a bit of extra damage. You can break the Lone Druid Bear and stop it from entangling stuff. But it's mostly just extra added damage here, I guess. Another item I want to talk about, though, is how Hakoda is going for this Aghanim Scepter on the Disruptor. Again, we've seen it time and time again. Disruptors wanting this. But in this game, while it's always useful, right? I just don't feel like this is a very good game for it, because Lone Druid, he doesn't really have any item that he wants to use anyway on his main hero. If he casts his ulti, then he's done. So Lone Druid doesn't care at all about this Aghanims. And it can be good, of course, against the Eul Scepter and Blink on Leshrac or the BKB on Pudge, but Pudge is still tanky enough he might survive through it and BKB afterwards.
What do you think about a Revenant Brooch on the Nature's Prophet?
Wow, a Revenant Brooch competitive game. Here we go. I have not seen this item used too often. He did go for the Witchblade pretty early on, and of course it's a natural progression for him to just upgrade it here. This is him wanting to hold on to his Midas a little bit longer, you know, and not wanting to sell to get another item. The Brooch is, you know, gonna give him some extra damage output, especially against high armor.
Oh my god, Insania just absolutely melts. Mickey, though, following up with the Dismember Zai, using that Eul, trying to keep himself alive a little bit longer. And he's doing plenty of damage. DM, he's somehow still alive, as they do finally manage to get the kill on Zai. Gonna chase after Mickey and Matu. They'll end up getting him treed. He can't move. He's held up. He cannot seem to get away, as they'll end up losing Zai. They end up losing Matu, and they end up losing Mickey. A brilliant surgical strike from the side of Virtus Pro, as they'll be able to take this tower and start pushing into the high ground if they like.
VP are doing it. That's beautiful. The double damage rune on Primal Beast is actually very terrifying, because you saw the trample damage? He just deleted the SD. He just deleted
poor Insania. It just literally just got stomped underneath his boot. It just literally just got
and now they're dead for a very long time, so it's only Tiny and SD around. They can definitely take mid racks, probably gonna go bottom racks as well. They can definitely take mid racks. This is bad news for Liquid. Their chances of hanging on to this game are pretty slim right now.
The chance of us going to a game 3 is pretty exciting, Waga.
Yeah, I'm definitely down for it. I'm all in.
Go. Pop the fortification. They pop the drums too. You can see Yamich throwing out the remnant. Just gonna back out for the moment. And already Ramses over into the Roche pit. Just wailing away, waiting for the rest of his team to come and assist him.
Yeah, he doesn't even need assistance. He's gonna be almost done with Roche by the time that the rest have made their way over here.
I'll let DM tank a bit. But yeah, this is a Roche and an Aghanim Shard, so...
Yeah, probably gonna take the shards. Who takes it, actually? Does he use it for himself? Usually carry players. We just take the shard, you know, if we see a chance to take it. If you play core, you
jerks.
Just... Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. Your shard is useless. Oh, I don't care. Fury shard is okay, but I don't think it's actually useful here at all in this game. But he's still gonna pop it, of course. It's the core player mentality.
Mm-hmm. Disgusting. No. Can you tell I'm a support player?
A little bit, yeah.
Little bit. Alright, well.
Seems like they're gonna go immediately now with 20,000 net worth lead. At least put themselves in an aggressive position to squeeze out Liquid from getting any farm on the map. So Liquid are now confined to their own base here.
That is very scary. So, what is the play here? How does VP want to approach this? Do you just go in there guns blazing because you've got an Aegis on Ramses, or do you want to try to get some sort of a pick-off first? What's the play?
I predict they're going to be patient and wait exactly 2 minutes. Maybe 2 minutes, 30 seconds here, but 2 minutes at least before they go. Because using your Aegis, the best way to use it is to not go immediately, because then you might lose the fight, you might win, but if you're just holding on to it like they're playing right now, you see that Liquid don't want to go out and contest because you have the Aegis over on the side of EP, so you want to enjoy the safety of Liquid being scared and not stress. But then when Aegis is about to time out, of course, you still want to make use of it, so you want to push high ground right around that timing.
Looks like they're baiting Mickey a little bit. They put him out front. They've got a smoke around him, hoping that perhaps VP will see him out of position and try to make a play. But right now, it doesn't seem like VP really care because they've used the exorcism. They've dedicated themselves to the tower. They've got
enough
the
waiting
treants.
around. They want to go.
Touch. Sing in the corner. Oh, a little bit off the mark. They're very close to grabbing DM. Tower will go down. DM realizing there's Mickey over here. They'll drop the static storm, and again, Mickey doesn't care too much, especially when you've got that save coming into play as they jump onto Insania on the back lines. Not going to be able to quite finish him off, though, but they do go for the refresher. The hold over onto GPK, though, looks a little bit scary as the bear just chewing away, but they need to get more damage because Zai, he's sitting so low, and he's putting out as much burst as he can. Does have the heal up. They'll end up finally taking down GPK. They're chased after Yamich. Yamich is not going to be able to just fight and stand toe-to-toe as Ramsey man-fighting against Zai. Again, that disruption doing so much. A hit over onto Ramsey's. Okay, that's going to be the first light. Toss back up into the air. They're going to be able to finish off Yamcha. They're waiting patiently. Split Earth off over onto Ramsey's. Plus the Dismember. Liquid defend their base and end up losing 3. All 3 of their cores are down.
Oh my god, I'm like hypnotized by the HP bar of Zai just going up and down in this team fight. It's crazy. Insania with a double save. That first Static Storm drop there, by the way, that was the Aghanims. And it had absolutely no impact because Insania just disrupts his teammate, of course. He's sitting behind with long cast range from Psychic Headband and Ether Lens. But again, Zai being able to play so confident when he's supported by this SD.
You can see this fight in the replay again. It starts off, it's looking pretty good there.
Oh, they're going high ground right now,
They
though.
are indeed going high ground. They might force out a buyback from GPK or Yamich. I saw the Ember early, and I think I said he was a core, but not used to seeing the position 4 Ember in this particular patch.
Yeah. And might not have too much success in this game. Toss back.
Ooh, toss back on DM, drops the silence, but they've got so much damage, it doesn't matter. DM is just trying to climb himself away, but they have the damage. He is dead for 79 seconds. He could buy back if he wanted to. We'll see GPK on the Primal Beast. He's going to be up in about 6 seconds.
Matumba says go throne.
They're going full throne. Yeah, they're thinking about it. They need to get a little bit more damage over here on the tower. That will force out the buyback on DM. DM, he does not have the exorcism up for another 10 seconds. The chump, though, coming out from GPK, toss up into the air from Boxy, trying to keep Insania alive. Not going to be able to quite do it. He picks up the bear, starts slamming him back and forth, but look at this damage coming out from Zai. He's just dancing circles around. He gets the kill on GPK. They do have buyback. They'll end up losing Mickey. It's not looking good now for Zai. He is left all alone. He's trapped in the trees. Has another play here with the Yule Scepter, but everybody just keeping back with all these ghosts. They'll be able to take him out.
That was really key by GPK, redeeming himself a little bit. I said earlier that he was making a bit of a throwing move, but this was beautiful. He goes in, assassinates again the SD. He has been really chasing down Insania, and whenever Insania dies first, it becomes much harder for Liquid to stay alive. He is a key component in this game, and after that, the damage from the Fury and the damage from DP is enough to secure the fight, even though GPK went down.
Smoke play coming out from the side of Liquid. Now they do have buybacks over on Zai and Matu if they want to use them. VP though, putting some of that pressure down. They do have an open Ancient at this time. Curious to see if they're going to try to push this advantage, try to force some buybacks.
I don't think
but
they
it looks
can.
like they're shy. They're a little too scared.
They're not really confident enough to be able to go up high ground against this because they know they're getting caught out, and with the buybacks they would be in a really bad spot then. So they're gonna get to respawn without having to use buy. This game is still on. 14,000 gold advantage for VP, but it feels like it's not even a big advantage. When we watch the team fights play out, Liquid are so strong still.
It's a 60-40 split right now in terms of win percentage, but it's just neck and neck. It has been going up and down, and honestly, I love it. I love having this be anyone's game. You can feel the tension. These are teams, this is the last chance qualifier for TI-11. You want to stay here in this upper bracket. You want the easiest path to that victory. So you're going to do everything you can to stay here.
I think right now, a big thing to mention, by the way, is the level 25 and pulverized duration talent on Primal Beast with a refresher and timeless relic. This thing lasts forever. Look at that. Okay,
The bear?
it doesn't last forever.
Well, I mean, it's all right, but Matu now dragged back into that Agnum Storm. But Mickey finding the open on Hakoda, immediately going to be able to take out the supports. Now from the back line, Boxy separated that roar though with the Ags. Mickey thinking about going back in, but they have the BKB. They pick up Mickey and they just shake him to death. As they'll end up losing the punch. Zai again though, so far onto this back line, uses the Yules, he's got the health. They'll end up losing Boxy. They're going to try to burst down GBK. Do they have the Matu? Trying to close the gap, trying to do it, but he cannot do it fast enough. Not with DM right there. And they try to save him, but they cannot do it. As they'll end up losing Zai. Buybacks coming out from the side of Team Liquid. They're not ready to give up Boxy, finding the opening over onto GBK. They get the kill, but they're going to end up losing Boxy. He did buy back for this. Tried to make the play over onto DM. Weren't able to finish him off in time. Ramsey's doing so much damage over here. You've got Insania. He's hiding in the back. Zai going forward. He's trying to just get them off of these buildings. He doesn't want to allow them to house because they don't have buyback over on the punch. They don't have the pulverize onto the back line. Zai see Insania. They'll rip him apart. And even though Zai is healing, he just cannot heal enough. GG gets called. Virtus Pro proving why they deserve to be up here in the upper bracket.
Big place by them, and not saving gold for buyback there on Matumba Man towards the end. He was buying out, trying to be as strong as possible, but yeah, this is finally closed out. This game was impossible to tell who was going to win until the very last moment. The team fights were so hectic. I felt bad almost for Zai in that last team fight because he just went in, stood there, and was like, "Stop murdering my friends," and he tried to do anything. But the triple BKB on for VP makes Leshrac useless in the short bursty fights, and then he was just alone and gets killed off without anyone around to help him.
Yeah, it felt like he needed to be in the middle of everyone, right, to get the maximum usage of his spells. And he was doing quite a bit. We saw in a couple of the earlier fights when they didn't have those BKBs available how much he could actually do. You would see the health bar go down and go back up again. Usually Boxy would try to get in position, but, you know, over time, VP was just patient. They're like, okay, we have to wait. We have to use our BKBs at this particular time, and then we've got to, you know, GPK immediately knowing Insania is the one who's throwing out all of these extra saves, especially on Zai to keep him there. Just really good, just positioning and also identification within the fights coming out from VP to know who they had to watch out for, what were the big key components. And it's rare that, you know, the support is the one that people are focusing so heavily on, but it was absolutely the right choice. Who would you say is your MVP out of all of this, though, Waga?
Probably still GPK. I think he had moments when he played a little bit strange. I think Ramses made it a strong case for himself to be the MVP as well. But GPK, I mean, he crushed the mid lane laning stage, and he enabled everything in the early game with his rotations, and he found a lot of key kills as well. And he ended the game 15, 5, and 21. His Primal Beast looked really dominant in this game, but I think Ramses also had big moments. I mean, he did even more damage overall. He did 56,000 damage that game. So just his right clicks on Furion were pretty damn good too.
But has the Aghanim Scepter on GPK, has it won you over after that last couple fights?
I feel like it was not about the Aghanims at all, those fights. I'm not sure the Aghanims has won me over, but, you know, a stronger player than me is trusting in the Aghanims, so I will definitely give it the, you know, benefit of the doubt at least, say that it looks to not be awful. But overall, I think that they won the fight regardless of the Aghanims or not. It was not really about breaking the opponents or that bit of damage. It's more about the targeting, if they can chain stun, if they can kill people during BKB, which they did.
Such a glowing review of, well, it wasn't terrible, but no, I'm just playing with you, Waga. I just wanted to tease you about that pickup. But we have had such a good start to our day, guys. We have had first game going over to the side of Liquid, this game going over to the side of VP, and Gaben has blessed us with a third game in this particular series. So we're going to have even more excitement, TI level games here on the stream, but we do have to go to a break. So make sure that you have everything that you need. Take a deep breath, go stretch perhaps, and
after GPK's performance, one thing we see for sure is the Primal Beast getting banned out by Team Liquid. They do not want to deal with that again. He played a really outstanding Primal Beast. I expect Liquid to have a lot of stuff prepared going into any best of 3. It feels like the type of team that has, you know, a layer of different strategies that they bring. But honestly, last game, I think they were a little bit too slow in what they put together. The Lone Druid and Pudge, both of them needed so much time and space. We saw them come online and get strong, but at the same time, Liquid gave VP so much chance to take over the map and build momentum, and their Nature's Prophet was absolutely massive on the back of GPK's space that he created. So would like to see them be a little bit more active, a little bit more front foot and contesting the map.
Okay, so basically, don't take two heroes that are going to need that time and priority. Try to get something that'll be a little bit more active, and then you can still have one other hero, is what I'm kind of hearing you say. Would that be correct?
Yeah, something similar to that. And we see the straight up SF first phase pick here and Clockwork added with it. VP, we spoke about it a little bit at the start of this series, how VP have had Shadow Fiend banned or picked in every single game that they played apart from one so far in Last Chance Qualifier. And here we go. We get to see it brought out in Game 3 against Liquid.
Yeah, very, very strong hero, and we've seen a lot of the Clockwork being able to pick up the new Ags, having those rockets that get spammed out do quite a bit of damage. I'm curious to see how Liquid wants to address this. Like, you usually want some sort of hero that's going to be able to do rotations early on a Shadow Fiend and put that pressure down. But they are going to opt for the early pickup of the Faceless Void, and that definitely was very impressive the last time we saw it. In fact, that was actually paired with the Shadow Fiend. So they're not going to have it this time, but they'll have the Void, and, you know, they could opt to go for the maximum control of adding in that refresher like they did in game number 1.
Yeah, I think it's smart to take the Void here just because Liquid already displayed themselves how strong the two of them can be in tandem. If you have the lockdown of the Chrono and SF ulti come mid and late game, it's near impossible to teamfight into. So smart of them to take this option away. They could also abandon it in second phase, but seems like they're happy to play it. The time dilation is pretty good against SF since the races are a lot of spells that could be on cooldown, right? It's the same as playing against Invoker.
Speaking of Invoker, would that be something that they might want to pick up on the side of Liquid? That is something that they've run several times now. In fact, trying to think, let me see. Invoker, well, they've run it about 3 times during these qualifiers, and it's had mixed results. It has like a 66% win rate, but that's one of those heroes that I think of when I see the Faceless Void is, you know, Quaz Exort and having the Cataclysm inside of the Chrono.
Yeah, it's very strong. It's a good tool. You really double down on the Chrono being a sure way to bring down the enemy cores. The Invoker, honestly, I don't feel like it's a hero that Liquid shine the most with. I know I said this before. You asked in the previous series or previous game how I think Mickey has a lot of other heroes that he can outplay more with that fits his style, like aggressive. Heroes such as Queen of Pain, if they get through the second ban phase here, I would definitely keep my eye on that.
Okay.
And VP seem to be banning out Sniper Darks here, so perhaps he gets to have Queen available here. It's good with the Chronosphere as well.
Does that put too much pressure down on the Faceless Void to provide the physical damage, though?
Not really. Queen can transition into a pretty hard hitter as well. She doesn't necessarily only bring spells. Her positioning with Blink allows her to get such continuous right clicks throughout fights. And she can hit pretty hard just going for a standard item build. If you add an Orchid at some point, and it gets even more powerful.
But is that going to cause some problems with like being able to take towers early? Because like you said, she can eventually have this damage, especially against heroes when you have an Orchid or a Bloodthorn. But it's going to take a little while for Void and the Quap to kind of come online to be able to push.
To a certain degree, but depends what they want to throw on that offlane as well. I wouldn't say that they're not massive pushers like a Leshrac or something, but they both right click really hard, so they're still decent enough. I'm more concerned about like pushing capabilities when you draft something that is really awful at right clicking, such as like a Core Pudge, who doesn't really take towers very fast. But Queen and Void would be completely acceptable, I think. It's funny, I want to mention a short thing here, that we see SF and Clockwork on VP, right? And this is an old combo that you can, of course, get souls early if you want to skill souls and not races. But it's funny how races are so powerful now. Even having Clockwork in your team, you still are very unlikely going to see any form of abuse of that in this game, just by the Shadow Race being so powerful now.
Virtus Pro's turn to pick.
A lot of debating going on, is seeing that DM and Ramses talking very intently. Ramses look pretty excited about what they want to pick up, though, so they'll go for the Disruptor again. Hakoda's been doing a pretty good job with this hero. Why not give him some more?
Yeah, a lot of Disruptor. It is Disruptor season lately. both yesterday and today we get to see it a lot.
That's one of those heroes that I don't mind seeing a lot of. It's not like, you know, seeing Sniper in like how many games since yesterday. Oh my gosh.
But
VT Gaming ran it like twice and Liquid ran it. And... Okay,
the
I
Disruptor
like that.
makes a lot of sense to me, though, because it pairs up really well with Clockwork's Vision, something we have highlighted before, but it's also great against the Faceless Void. Now we have a good way to lock him down. If he doesn't have BKB ready, you can always get a kill on him with Static Storm as well.
I like the Snapfire pickup. That's something that they have played about 4 times so far during this qualifier. It also gives you some added damage into the Chronosphere. I'm not sure exactly which position they've been running it in. I'd assume that it was more of a support position, but there is some flexibility with that hero as well.
Yeah, I mean, Zai, when you have Zai in your team as well, he's a player who can play a lot of different things on the offlane. I know that he's played, you know, Tiny in the past. He certainly is very capable of playing Snapfire as well. It looks like he's going to be playing one of those two as we see Witch Doctor grabbed up here.
Yeah, and we saw the power of Insania's Witch Doctor during the laning phase. Probably not going to see quite as much this time around if he's paired up with the Faceless Void because he doesn't provide as much damage hitting. But, well, no, because he definitely did that in the other game that we were watching. So perhaps I misspoke. Definitely very valuable.
They're a good lane still, even though you can't very quickly burst damage into the Maledict as a Void. It's very hard to pressure the Void if he's protected by Witch Doctor, who has a fairly strong laning stage, and Void can quickly come over and join, at least with a Time Walk. If there is a good Maledict, he can Time Walk in, put down the time dilation, and usually you could maybe get a kill out of that.
Oh, the Visage this time going to the side of Virtus Pro. We saw Zai playing this earlier. And he was a very, like, quiet, foundational Visage. Wasn't super flashy, but definitely got the job done, provided what the team needed. I'm curious to see how this Visage is going to play out.
I like the Visage added when you have Shadow Fiend. Because of the presence of the Dark Lord, you can hit really hard with Visage Familiars. So their damage is going to be amplified pretty well here. And I think you need to have good burst when you play against Faceless Void so that you can kill him quickly before he time walks off all the damage. And that's sort of what we see them building into.
Virtus Pro's turn to ban.
Ban out of that Morphling. Again, you can move the Shadow Fiend around quite a bit. Seems like they think it's most likely going to be in that safe lane position, which seems to be the most popular, but you can move it towards mid if needed.
10 seconds
Yeah, they also don't want to face against the Morphling again, as the Morphling against Faceless Void is so good. Time Dilation plus Waveform turns him into a nearly unkillable monster. Especially Time Dilation can be a problematic spell as well for Faceless Void to deal with himself.
Okay, they ban out the Magnus. I guess that makes sense when you consider, like, the Wombo combo that they would have potentially on the side of Liquid.
Yeah, Liquid also played Magnus last pick. Was it yesterday or earlier that they played the Lifestealer with Magnus last pick coming in? So recognizing that they do have a melee carry in Faceless Void and getting that Empower farming going would be pretty strong. So it's not just the Wombo combo, it's more he would ramp up Faceless Void to grow even bigger.
Makes sense. I'm curious, what would you like to see for the final pickup for both of these teams? Like, what are they lacking, and what hero fulfills that goal?
Honestly, I mean, we're still waiting on Mickey's hero on the side of Liquids, and I think for them, Puck could be an option, or something similar to a Puck that plays very aggressive. I mean, I'm still not seeing any Queen ban out, so Queen would be fantastic for them, I think. Fits really well into the draft. Or on the side of VP,
10 seconds
could see them running some form of illusion carry even here. Something that tucks away a bit and just rely on the Visage to fight well with the Disruptor, Clockwork, and SF.
I mean,
So something like Naga even.
I was about to say, I was like, we've been seeing a lot of Naga Siren. That feels like it could be potentially very good because it's an illusion here, like you mentioned. It gives you that net. And then also the setup, right? Or the reinitiation necessarily with the Song of the Siren could be a very good tool for the side of Virtus Pro.
Yeah. Yeah, Team Liquid, they're going down the last few seconds here, thinking what they want. And it's going to be Axe. Oh, okay. Exciting. So that is probably Zai's Axe?
Look at Virtus Pro. They both look like, what the?
Yeah, they're like, what? We thought it was going to be a mid-hero.
I also had that look, though. I had a very similar, like, whoa, okay, an Axe.
Yeah,
So it
they're
looks
now
like they have to shift
reassessing.
gears.
Yeah, they're quickly reassessing what this is gonna mean, how it changes things. Yeah, look at it. It's so funny seeing the players' reaction to this.
Yeah. They're trying to figure out, what do we do
Scratching
now?
his
Where are
head.
they putting these heroes? What's happening? And it's definitely a fair point here.
That's really cool. They do have a lot of time though. They have a full minute still, so you can see that VP are still trying to figure out exactly what this means. I mean, I would expect if I was them that this is now going to be an offlane axe by Zai. Zai plays a really great axe, and is it going to be Mickey on Tiny mid then? Most likely. And they're just thinking, do we want to have Shadow Fiend mid? Do we want to Shadow Fiend carry? Some of the decisions they can chase. They made up their mind. They're going to go with Luna. All right. So Luna is a ranged carry that actually pairs up pretty well against Axe and laning stage. I think this was what they came up with, something that doesn't struggle in lane, and they bring even more late game hard carry here. I like it.
Okay, I think that was a pretty fast solution to what they've thrown over at the side of VP. Whose draft do we like the best, though? This is game number 3. This is the big one here. You don't want to get knocked lower.
I like what VP did there. VP looked happy as well after picking that Luna. You saw the look on Ramses. He felt confident that, they figured it out in a pretty good way here, it seemed like. And I agree. I think their draft looks nice. Liquid, obviously they have a lot of tools that they can work with, but I'm going to have to give it to VP here. I actually think they have the slight edge in the draft.
Interesting. Okay, all right. That's going to be a pretty tall order then for Liquid to try to deal with. What are we watching in particular? Is there a certain hero that needs to pop off for one team or the other?
For me, I'm going to be watching GPK quite closely, especially after how he won mid lane quite hard in the last game. I think Mickey has a chip on his shoulder now after that game as well, so probably wants to do a little bit better. He was really struggling on his Pudge, so the Tiny versus the SF matchup should be pretty interesting to watch.
I'll be curious too to see if we're going to see a lot of rune control coming out this time, and also if that Liquid is going to be paying special attention to the jungle, because I feel like stacks are something that GPK is going to want to take, especially when you have a Luna on top of that. Would like to see them be pretty active, and I guess with the draft coming out from Liquid, do have that capability, right? Because Matu, after a certain point, he's going to be self-sustaining, he's going to be able to move around, do his own thing, and that's going to let Insania kind of do a little bit more scouting and put pressure down.
Even just something like moving over Zai together with Boxy and Mickey, they could contest jungle stacks quite easily between Tiny and Axe. I mean, they can clear it, and with some support from Boxy on his Snapfire to protect them, they could definitely go in and steal. And both teams have great capabilities of clearing stacks here. The Axe might very well get some stacks on his Ancients or Big Camp as well. Who knows? But I like what VP are doing here, partly because their physical damage output is going to be insane. Between the Luna aura, the SF aura, and then the Visage Birds as well, I think that it will be hard for something like Axe to stay alive in the mid to late game team fights. We've seen Axe's struggle to tank up in this patch lately as well, but I think in this game it can be difficult.
Seems like we are definitely going to be seeing a Wraith Pact at the very least coming out here to try to mitigate some of the damage, but wouldn't be surprised to see just heroes trying to tank up a little bit more, trying to have some more armor, especially against something like a Shadow Fiend. Yeah, seems like this is going to be one heck of a third game for the decider against Liquid versus VP.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, in this game even, I think it would be nice for Liquid to have it, but I don't think they have a hero that can reasonably build the Wraith Pact, since Axe usually needs to buy so many other things. He wants that Vanguard, wants that Blink Dagger. Meanwhile, VP are definitely going to go for it because they have Visage, so for him to get a Wraith Pact is quite easy, very natural item build for him. But yeah, we have a bit of a pause here in the game. It's Yamich said 1 minute the PC lag. It's some Windows issue here. We hear from the players. So
What
we're waiting a little
item-
bit.
Sorry.
No, we're waiting a little bit to go into the game. What were you gonna say?
We're holding the game hostage, guys. Let's be really honest here. You know how we do this, us casters. No, but I was curious to, all right, so they don't have a natural Wraith Pack carrier necessarily. What item do you think that we will see coming out from, like, the supports to kind of have that utility will be very important this game for Liquid?
For Liquid, I think Insania's going to do the same thing they did previously on Witch Doctor. Every game I watch him play, it's always the same thing. It's the shard as soon as possible. Might get mana boots or sometimes tranquils, but likes the mana boots and then just straight into shard. As for Boxy, in this game, he could go for an Aghanim Scepter on Snapfire because he has great heroes to send in. He can send in the Axe or the Faceless Void even in some situations. So maybe greed for an Aghanims on your Snapfire, and Witch Doctor just plays the sacrificial role, only hoping to acquire a shard, and that's really it.
I think we'll probably see the shard picked up for the Snapfire too, having that capability to get that little bit of farm, and also just a little bit more damage seems to be very, very popular.
Yeah, the shard is being played a lot. I think this shard is one of the shards that has griefed me the most when it was introduced. So many Snapfires just missing their stuff, just jumping over the enemy and missing entirely. It also moves pretty slowly. Because doesn't it? I think it travels at the same speed as it did before, so it takes longer to reach the end destination, right? Since you're jumping farther. So it just feels kind of slow sometimes, but obviously when you know how to use it, if you're using it correctly and you're not misjudging the distance like all the noobs in pubs, then it's actually quite strong.
You sound slightly triggered there, Waga. You are right.
Oh my god, so many missed kills, Moxie, you don't understand.
Oh no, not like this. Looks like we
no,
still
we
have
have less players now. Two more DC'd.
Oh, looks
We're
like
going the wrong way.
everybody's figuring if we're gonna have a pause, might as well we have the best connection possible. Make sure everything's running, no Windows updates in the background. This is, of course, game number 3. This is the big one. This is the one that really, really matters. So,
yeah, and if you missed game 1 or game 2, I mean, game 1, you certainly should go back and watch it. It was absolutely crazy. I recommend definitely that people check out the replay for that one. But yeah, game number 3 here, 1-1 between Liquid and VP. I had a good feeling waking up that this is going to be a good game. And so far it really has been. So please, no more PC issues. Let's go into the third game and get some more Dota. I need it.
Yeah, we're just waiting on Mickey's PC, it seems. So hopefully he'll be able to reconnect soon. Everything will be up and running, and we can get this show on the road. What time is it over there right now for you, Waga?
For me, now it's, it's bright and early, 7 a.m. now, after the first 2 games are concluded here. People are starting to wake up. My neighbors probably love that I'm sitting here and screaming, casting in my room. They're used to it. No different from me streaming.
On the bright side, at least you're the analyst, right? You don't have to be shouting at the top of your lungs or whatever. It's 1 a.m. here, so it's a little rough when you have to be excited, especially after these last 2 games where everything is just getting incredible. But, we're doing it. And shout out to also the Spanish and the Brazilian casters. They are also working, I believe, in a similar time zone to me. So late night crew, we're doing it. We're making it work.
I remember my old apartment where I used to stay. My neighbors, they actually got so mad at me. They were like, they were banging on the walls and stuff. They were really not happy with me making noise. And I was casting dishes. I was casting like a Chinese tournament, so time zones were a little bit different. And I just went down and I hung like a plastic bag with a little bit of cash inside and some cookies, and then some earplugs for them, and a note that said like, sorry, but I have to work night shift. Thank you for being understanding. And I never heard from them again. But
oh, okay, all right. Well, I'm sure they like the idea of you being considerate. Like, it's not like you're trying to be a jerk. You just, it's part of the job. I'm in a different place. I'm not even at my home. I had to, just for TI, I had to go find a different place to cast from because I would not be able to do it where I live. I have neighbors to both sides of me, and it's not like Europe where the walls are thick. Americans, we like our wooden plaster walls, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've noticed. I stayed in the US for quite a while. The walls are generally quite thin.
Yeah. Are you eating anything particular to stay awake? I know there's lots of viewers right now who are over in the other time zones that this year they've had to adjust their sleep schedule because they want to watch TI. Do you have any tips for them on how to stay awake and be energized, even though we're getting great games, especially?
Oh, I certainly have experience having to stay awake. I've done 30 different 24-hour streams. Generally though, just any actual cooked food, like some leftovers, reheat that. That's fantastic. I'm not a big fan of energy drinks. I don't drink coffee. I don't drink energy drinks. Water and actual food. Thank you.
That's amazing. I am actually so impressed by that. There are very few people that can function completely without caffeine. I need caffeine.
I don't know if I function completely, but...
Hey, you're doing it. You're faking it till you make it, Wagga. You're definitely doing a great job here. Because I know it is
the
rough.
First one to say I function completely. Thank you.
You're welcome. Don't make me take that back. Don't let that age poorly in this next game. But I know there's a lot of people that trying to use food, and also caffeine's a big one.
The best thing I had ever during a long stream was Jerax cooking me some stuffed bell pepper during my stream. He's like such a kind guy, I was just sitting there streaming, working, and I forgot completely about food and nutrition, and suddenly Jerax just shows up. He's like, "Do you want one?" And I'm like, "Yes, thank you." He gave me this stuffed bell pepper. It was delicious.
That's
cheese
amazing.
And meat. That was good stuff.
That's so nice. Oh, I love hearing that's very wholesome, right? Just make sure that you eat, take care of yourself. That's important. That is, of course, very, very important that you stay hydrated, and that you have your snacks or whatnot. Try not to eat too much junk food. I know I'm very, I'm very guilty of that. I might have a snack bag corner over in the side of this room that I break into occasionally. I have not been preparing myself meals at night.
I mean, we're all like that. I'm sure a lot of the time. I should cook and freeze more food so I have leftovers ready. I don't do it enough. Little update for anyone who is waiting here for the game. Exciting after game 1 and game 2 being this good. We want to get into game 3, but we're still waiting for Mickey to get back into the game right now. The other 9 players are ready, but just a little update for viewers. We should have his PC issues sorted out soon, I hope.
The players are also very much ready and raring to go. VP keeps asking, are we ready to go? Can we go now? And they want to get going. This is the big one. This is exciting.
There are a lot of voice line spams and stuff going on in game 2. They're just, VP every single player is spamming the well played. All
right, my question for you, Wagga, now. Which team do you want to win TI?
Entity, 1,000,000%. Oh yeah,
1,000,000%.
1,000,000%. My boy Stormstormer. I'm very much with him. I mean, we go back. We played together in a team before. He's one of my coaches from the training camp. Now he's popping off in Entity. They're playing fantastic. I've been saying that they played great all the way since the start of the year, and over time they've just proven themselves more and more. There was, of course, the LAN that they went to, even without their carry player. Played with 2 offlaners, with Saberlight, who did fantastic as a stand-in as well, by the way. Saberlight, really an outstanding player. But they played double offlaner and managed to secure top 5, top 6 position at a major. I think Entity are seriously some strong underdogs in this TI.
Do you think that they'll be able to do it? Because there's one thing to say, hey, this is the team I want to win TI, but how reasonable do you think it is that they're going to be able to still perform just as well? Because there's the thing that a lot of people don't understand is that you can go to LANs, you can perform on LANs, but TI is just so incredibly stressful and such a different environment. I think Dr. K said that last TI, he said you can feel the tension in the air because everyone's so stressed. They want this win. This is the big one. This is the one that everyone dreams of winning. Do you think Entity is going to be able to keep going with that momentum and not, just get too pressured and maybe collapse?
I'm a bit of a realist, so I think no team probably has more than a 14% at most chance of winning TI. I don't think there's anyone who's a massive favorite to win. I think they have a good chance. I think they have no reason to believe they can't do it. But is it likely? No, there's not. No team is likely to win TI. It's a hard competition.
Wog is a hater. You heard it here, folks. But we have a game, finally. We have everybody. They've made it into the game. They're logged in. We've got a smoke from VP. And we just have to hope that, you know, these teams are feeling fresh and ready to go and that they didn't cool off during that break time.
Yeah, gotta keep your fingers warm. Probably not a big... Look at him. He's behind them.
It's a brave little grandma right there. He's getting a lot of information
He doesn't
dropping
know.
down the sentry early. See that courier flopping on by.
That's funny. Drops the ward and realizes, oh, I was in danger. But look at how he walks out, carefully hugging the tree line on the walkout, because he knows the ward vision of that high ground ward, if they placed it, would have seen him if he went lower. So he stays undetected as he moves out there.
All right. Here's the horn. The start of game 3 officially has begun. Looks like it'll be an even split on the runes for both of these teams.
Yeah, keep it fair. And nothing too surprising going on with the laning from the side of either of the teams. You might have expected perhaps that Disruptor would have laned top. There could be one little switch up here. They actually have Clockwork pairing up with the Luna. But I think this is better because double range is pretty good to put pressure on the Faceless Void on the off lane. So VP just favoring having Clock and Luna together.
Just taking a look at each of these lanes here, trying to figure out which one is most likely going to be the most brawly out of all of them.
Yeah, quite likely we're going to see a lot of fighting on top lane. Bottom lane as well, though. Continuous harassment is probably going to be the name of the game here from VP. Matumba just going to try and get away with farming. But top lane, probably going to be the most contested from both sides.
I will say they're doing a pretty good job of harassing in this top lane. See that scatter blast coming out. Boxy, though, needs to be a bit careful. They do hit decently hard. How is the harassment in this bottom lane? I feel like this could be very difficult, especially for Insania if he's not careful, right? Because you've got, you know, this Visage who's going to be able to nuke eventually. You've got the Thunder Strike coming out from Hakoda. So it's not the easiest.
Not the easiest. He has his job cut out for him here that he has to protect Matumba Man. But on the other hand, I think once they have time dilation, they're probably quite strong here in this lane.
You see that nuke, though, like we said, the harassment over onto Insania.
Yeah, they have the synergy as well. It's the purple boys, Void and Witch Doctor.
They have matching t-shirts. I was thinking that perhaps we'd see, you know, rotations coming out for these water runes. I feel like rune contestation is going to be very, very important, especially just for both of these heroes, right? Although it looks like you
so close.
This bottom lane, yeah, they get a couple of these hits off over onto DM. And there it is.
Alright, so they get 2 kills over on the side of VP. Top lane was a real brawl there with a Snapfire Cookie trying to save the axe, but still gonna go down. So big win for VP on the top lane. And then a bit of a trade.
It definitely had the action breakout in multiple lanes at once. With both heroes going down, one for each side, but everybody's back to the lanes now.
Feeling refreshed and back to the lane, back to the action.
Nice
Maledict.
glimpse away. Poor Insania, he literally just teleported back to the lane and has like a third of his HP because of all the damage that they can output.
Yeah, he did have a salve though, so he's gonna be completely fine, just get his HP back up again. Top lane, we now see Axe and Snapfire trying to utilize the pull a little bit here and actually farm the jungle camp as well as the lane. Trying to get themselves an advantage here.
That is one thing that does feel nice when you have a hero like Axis. He's able to cut the waves a bit and force Ramses into kind of an awkward position for going for those last hits.
Yeah. One lane that we haven't talked about too much right now as well is the mid lane. For now, it's 18-5 on last hits for SF and 16-2 on this Tiny. So Tiny doing pretty well. I think Generally, I don't like melee heroes or short-ranged heroes against SF, but Tiny has so much HP that he can actually be fine. He doesn't really run a great risk of dying to a triple race.
Looks like, again, another split on the water runes. Nothing too crazy. Top lane, though, do get a cookie hop over onto the Luna and the call. Nice push back, though, with the cogs coming up from Yamish. Going to make sure that he can keep Ramses alive. In the bottom lane, Insania is going to just get clicked down here. We talked about the potency of these two heroes, and they're definitely showing up in this bottom lane.
Yeah, and the nice thing about pairing up the Disruptor into the Faceless Void lane is that he can do this.
Yeah, there's a toss up, and we will see the rotation from Boxy. He's got the cookie hop, following up with the Scouter Blade. GPK needs to be so careful. He's going to be forced back as Boxy continues to chase after him. He's got Boots, though, on the Shadow Fiend. Boots over on Boxy, too, but I believe he's just a little bit faster, though. He's sitting a bit low. Does pick up that bounty rune as he's getting chased. Bottom lane, though, they'll find the kill on Kokoda while all this is going down.
Wow, he actually does survive on GPK, but all this time that he's trying to run away, Boxy's still on him, chasing after
Yeah,
him.
Mickey's here with the avalanche. He's like, alright, he's low enough. Thank you, I will take that.
That's actually a worst case scenario, that you survive for so long and then you die. That's much more painful than just immediately dying.
And
So
he still died
that
to the
wasted a lot of
mid-laner.
time. Yeah, exactly. Mickey gets that kill. Bit of advantage now for Tiny.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Alright, well. They are putting the pressure on Zai, realizing that Boxy wasn't there, but the cookie hop from Boxy will ensure that Zai will survive. And let them know that they can't harass him as strongly as they could before, now that he's back as a support. He's going to rotate over here, though. We have the runes coming up, and this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see some sort of rune control coming out from these teams. So when it comes up, it is an Invis rune here for GPK. He's more than happy to take that.
Yeah, the 6-minute rune, the power rune is quite important to help out with. The water runes can sometimes be fine to just leave, but the power rune, you definitely want to get the first one, so SF might have a chance to rotate with that. No lucky bounces on the cask.
There's some continued harassment over onto Matu. They still have that vision. You can see Insania trying to get some body blocks off, but now he might end up dying for this. Yes, they will indeed finish off with the damage.
Matumba wants to try and get some farm, but Hakoda again gonna come up with the Thunder Strike probably if he sticks around for too long. This Thunder Strike is so annoying because you can't just time walk off the damage. Usually Faceless Void is hard to harass with spells, but Tiny. Looking for
Mickey
it.
in the bottom lane takes this rotation. It's going to go a little bit deep here as he sees Hakoda. He's got the avalanche toss up into the air. Not quite enough burst damage, though. Does have to be a bit careful as Matu makes his way over, jumps into the tree line with the time dilation. He's got to close the gap over on Hakoda. He's getting close enough, but he's going pretty far for this, as it looks like Hakoda's going to survive. So rotation from Mickey, but it doesn't end up yielding any sort of a kill. However, it does push them back and allow some of this damage on the tower and a little bit more breathing room for Matu to hit creeps.
Yeah, Mickey's sticking around. He's being very persistent here. DM is very bothered by this. He has to hide in a tree line, and they're hitting a nice power spike where Visage is not level 6 yet. So he's not ready to fight. And because of this, they can bully him back and take this tower. It's gonna go down.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
There's a lot of heroes in the bottom lane right now. Boxy also rotating over. Mickey heading back to the middle line here.
This is such a big win, though, for Liquid. Usually you don't manage to take the enemy off lane tower before they take your safe lane. So this mixes things up a little bit. Oh, Foxy, gotta get caught out.
Yeah. He uses the Fairy Fire. He's not going to be able to use the cookie to get out, though, so we'll end up dying. But that is two supports rotating to the mid lane.
It's not super costly. GPK is going to be happy about the kill, but it doesn't matter that greatly. But yeah, as I was going to say, the bigger problem now for VP is that they're not going to have as much access to the map as they would like.
The avalanche toss back here to Insania. He's got the Maledict. Boxy canceling out. Oh my goodness. No Requiem of Souls for you, GPK.
I could just see that backfiring, just Snapfire jumping in and the SF gets the ulti out and he just blows him up in the air.
I think you've had too many missed cookie hops, Maga, if that's where your brain goes first.
That's probably true.
Though, throws out the Chronosphere. He can't hit Hakoda, though. is going to have to run back and get away from these birds that are causing a big problem, but they're baiting a little bit as Boxy. They both go drop the wards, try to get a couple of these bounces off. Will land over onto Matu. Matu going to walk right into Yamich, into the cogs. He's going to fall, and the follow-up here from Liquid will ensure that they get the kill on DM, but now they're a little bit too far out of position, it feels. GPK, Yamich, both here. Hakoto running around in circles. They'll end up finishing off Insania. Boxy doesn't have that cookie, not going to be able to run away. As on the back line, Mickey trying to close the gap. Coda getting done over by Boxy, but they'll get off the Requiem missiles this time around, and they'll end up getting the kill on Mickey. Boxy just going to be able to go and get the D ward, but he's going to end up dying for this for sure.
Okay, Liquid's positioning was way too deep there. That was not the place to be. The Clockwork can just TP in behind and get the kill. GPK getting a triple on the back of this. All this was enabled, by the way, by a nice little play by Disruptor at the start of that fight. Matumbo was trying to get the Chrono and immediate kill on Disruptor, but he got the kinetic field down. Like you said, he couldn't reach him in that Chrono, right? And everything happened on the back of that. They just overcommitted on Liquid.
It felt kind of weird the way they were sending in people one by one at that point, but again, perhaps they thought that they could recover and make these plays, but a good response coming out from Virtus.pro. And now they're smoked up, making their way top. They want to cause some problems for Zai, and in fact, this is looking like a very dead axe. So, GPK now dominating. Oh, but the follow-up with the Avalanche and the Snapfire Kisses. Oh my god. So much damage. Not going to be able to quite finish off GPK here.
Oh, he's running his wind blaze.
Close. He's doing everything. Mickey, though, closing the gap. Avatos, plus that little bit from the Scatter Blast will ensure they get the kill.
Yeah, they get him, but they didn't manage to get the kill that they probably wanted up here, which was the Luna. She got out in safe time, and Visage is pushing bottom. Meanwhile, the kill on SF is great, but I still think VP are doing a good job getting more stuff done during the time that was used for this rotation.
Just gonna send the birds back to finish off the tower. And DM's just gonna teleport away. He's done his job here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, Ramses is just tucking away to full farm mode. He's going for the greedy 1-3-4 skill build here. So maxing out on the jungling capabilities and the right clicks. No Eclipse gonna come out early here.
I feel like that's such a Ramses thing to do, though. Like, anyways, hook shot into the top lane. We'll go and hold Mickey into place. A good avalanche, though. We'll slow them down. A little bit of that Maledict over on Hakoda. Throwing out the kinetic field. Just trying to support these two heroes. Get the Tumbler's Toy forward. Want to finish off Mickey. They're going to have to chase a little bit more. They can't quite close the gap. There it is. They follow up, but here comes Matu. Nice Static Storm being thrown up by Hakoda. They're not going to be able to go and get that Chronosphere off immediately like they might have wanted. And Matu taking a lot of damage. Does manage to go get GBK in the Chrono, but he gets glimpsed back. A nice play coming out from Disruptors. Now Boxy going to end up falling to Yamich, and then Insania will die to GPK. Coda not going to have the glimpse up for a little bit longer. Will be able to get himself a courier snipe, though, on the way out.
Hakoda is just the nightmare of Matuma, man, here. He's not allowed to do what he wants. He puts down a Chrono, and he's never allowed to hit. And it's always Hakoda's fault. He glimpses it out of the Chronosphere, just like he kinetic fielded him earlier, preventing any damage output.
That positioning is actually just so good coming out from him. Like you said, you know, the kinetic field earlier. He's had a couple glimpses in several of the games now that have just totally thrown Matu off. Honestly, whenever he sees this Disruptor, feels like Matu is going to have to just push that BKB well in advance, because half the time this little guy is going to have the Aghanim Scepter, or he's just going to have something that's going to cause Matu to not be able to get the objectives that he wants.
Yamich just hiding, but he's not allowing Matumman to farm here. He's being so confident on Clockwork. What? He's just diving in?
Yeah, I don't know. This is a little weird considering he's right by a tower, so they should be able to, get a kill on Yamish.
Okay, that was a bit weird. I was gonna say that it's really nice he's not allowing the Faceless Void to farm, but then he decides to just run under the tower. I'm not sure what was going on there. Meanwhile, though, the Luna cleared up a quadruple stack on the Ancients, so she's getting absolutely huge during this time.
Ooh, we're gonna... Okay, alright. I was getting trolled briefly. There was an Aghanims, I think, queued up over on this Luna. I was like, whoa, Ion Cannon Luna. That's a choice.
We might see Aghanims later on for sure, especially with new Shard, how that works. We're probably not going to see an early Shard, but We might see it purchased later. It can actually be very, very strong, but it's not as good of a value shard as the old one was, where you just buy it early, and it's good for farming, good for fighting, good for everything. This one is only good for fighting. Of course, it is the one where you get damage per beam hitting the enemy heroes.
And as you said, Ramsey's going for the greedier build here. Definitely one of those players that likes to hit his creeps. So, makes sense that it ends up turning back around and is just going to go finish up the BKB, which is pretty important when you consider all this lockdown coming out from the side of Liquid.
Yeah, certainly. I would like to see Liquid make more moves with the Snapfire ulti and the Axe now. They have the Blink and the Vanguard. I feel like Axe can blink in and they can follow up with more and more kisses. They need to keep looking for kills. Because I think VP are pulling ahead, and I think VP have the stronger late game here too.
Alright, well they are playing together here over on the side of Liquid. You see Zai and Boxy paired up, and they're making their moves over
the
towards
illusion.
Oh
no, don't. Okay, it's nighttime actually saves. They don't see it because of the nighttime, but
I mean,
maybe
they're
now.
sending it over.
Okay, it's not. Yeah, it's
No,
pretty
they're
obvious.
it's just sitting there, yep. Tier 2, though, is getting pressured a bit here by the side of VP. So, I'm curious to see if they're going to make any sort of rotation to defend it, or if they're just going to, throw down a flare. But
I like how Ramses is not even joining to that. He's like, yeah, you guys pushed to tier 2. I'm just going to hit jungle. I'm going to keep farming. They trade their mid-tier 1 tower for it, but that gives them full access to the Radiant jungle now. And Liquid's map is starting to get a little bit smaller.
have a completed BKB for GPK now. Wraith Pact, like we talked about, it's on the Visage.
They have
This
an
time,
insane power
okay.
spike. Yeah,
I like this.
Double
Hakoda
BKB
is going-
and Wraith Pact.
Hakoda is going for more of a utility this time around for one of his first items instead of just looking straight for... Oh boy. Oh, I thought for sure we were going to see the glimpse on Mickey.
I'm not going to pull him back.
Alright.
I like this though. I like the Glimmer Cape that he's choosing to go back for that instead of rushing all the way towards the Aghanims. I honestly think it's overrated to not have any item for so long on Disruptor. It takes forever to get the Aghanims.
They do have a ward behind their own tower, so they can see that there is a GPK waiting patiently. Curious to see if they're going to try to go for a call. Side starts moving forward. You can see they've got those birds up. They'll throw out a cast, a couple bounces, be able to cancel out the blink. Hook shot in over onto Zai. Nicely done by Yamish as they have all of these birds. Cookie Hop out of the cogs will come into play, but in comes this Luna. And they'll follow up, though, with the Chronosphere. The Snapfire Kiss is absolutely wrecking havoc. Not quite enough damage, though, to finish up over on Yamish. So it's a lot of ultis, but not anybody dying just yet. DM, though, is separated a little bit as Matu finding the opening over onto GPK. They'll be able to get the kill now that that BKB is down, and they needed something to cancel out the TP of DM. Zai just a little bit too slow here. Not going to be able to provide the call that was needed.
Wow, that was a really good fight by Liquid. I didn't expect them to be able to win a fight into double BKB timing with the Wraith Pact as well. I thought that VP were going to be strong enough there, but nice positioning, nice saves with the cookie snap. They're really coordinating well there.
That instant aggressive smoke, though, coming out from Liquid after that, hoping that they could catch any sort of stragglers. That is some serious aggression. And again, you know, they use so many ultis. They use the Chronosphere, they use the Clips, they use Snapfire Kisses.
Yeah, I think also this smoke is not just to look for kills, but always when you have a team fight, that might give you some time to plant down vision. So of course it serves double purpose. They look for Ramses a little bit, didn't find him, but they also get that ward on the Ancients, which is quite important because that's where Luna likes to hang out, right? This is like places I like to go as a Luna.
A little book here as Mickey does it. Oh, the nice grouping up here, though, with those cogs. They put out a decent amount of damage over to Yamish. Is it enough, though, to keep Mickey alive? Good Cookie Hop. He's got to get out of that static storm that they have the glimpse. So they'll end up losing Mickey. They'll end up losing Insania. A nice strike back from the side of VP.
Yeah, they want to go Roche right now. They have the damage. They have a lot of damage between SF and Luna. The aura is level 2 already, and they're just going to go straight in for it. don't see how they can contest this without Chronosphere and with Tiny dead.
Yeah, you're seeing that they're not even really paying much attention over to that area. Zai's just continuing to farm up. He's got a BKB queued. Boxy trying to safely push out this wave here, but we'll need to just back off as they come out of that pit.
Yeah, so now they decide to put it on the Shadow Fiend, this Aegis. I guess that's because Ramses knows that he wants to farm and play pretty greedy here and keep growing. So using the SF more aggressively, letting him join the fights. I expect the Ramses Luna to keep hitting creeps a lot. They might still go for some tower pushes because Liquid might be too scared to defend. And they are moving for tier 1 top. Meanwhile, Zai is waiting for anyone to show on the bottom creep wave. But Yamage is also just sitting around. It's sort of a stare down here.
Yeah, he's just playing it safe, using the rocket flare to push out the wave. And they're able to take the tier 1 while all this is going down. VP feeling very confident now that they have this Aegis. Put pressure on the tier 2.
Yeah, they're in a great spot right now. They have everything, like I mentioned. The key timing was already there. Now with the Aegis as well. It's just gonna be very difficult for VP or for Liquid to fight VP until they have the BKB on Faceless Void. I don't see how he can move in these fights.
I think he will move wherever this Disruptor decides to put them half the time. But Boxy this time gets the little free trip back to where he started.
Yeah, you're right about that. He already got glimpsed out of the Chronosphere at times they definitely didn't want to, so Matumba, he wants that BKB. It's high up on his wish list.
Just not sure that Virtus Pro is going to give them the amount of time that they're going to need to really get it online and running.
And
Feeling
now with
very
a full
powerful.
pipe. Yeah, DM has a lot of damage mitigation now with the pipe as well completed. So even Snapfire Kisses will struggle a bit.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Alright, pressure on into the mid lane. They do have the Chronosphere available. They also have Snapfire Kisses if they want to try to make any sort of a play. But it seems like they just want to focus up on this BKB. That is the priority. They have enough to pick up the Ogre Club. Sorry, the Ogre Axe.
Yeah, he's closing in, but he still has a long way to go. And it seems like right now, GPK, he knows where Matumman is. He's drawing, he's like, let's go there, let's find him. Some nice scribbles down here on the minimap.
He can definitely, his spidey sense is tingling on Matu. He's already hiding in the tree line. He's like, something doesn't quite seem right, but he's gonna come back out. That's ooh, this might be a dead Matumba, man.
Spidey senses versus greed.
They see him. Can they get there fast enough? Can they get the hook shot? They get the hook shot over onto Matu. Battery assault plus the lucid beam. He's gonna try to run away over here to the corner. We'll end up getting glimpsed back, and they just have so much damage. They just burst down Matu.
He dunks one of the birds. That's rude, Sai. But it's gonna go on cooldown though when you do that, but he, of course, gets the speed to run away at least.
Double damage run around the Roche pit. DM cleaning up over in this mid lane. They'll take over the outpost on the side of VP.
Okay, Diderun over on Mickey is going to be useful, but he still doesn't have the Aghanim. Since he opted to go for that BKB first, he doesn't have any DD Avalanche with Aghanim's combo.
All the pings coming out. They had seen Zai. They were hoping they could get their hands on him, but not going to be the case today, as it is just so very little map space for the side of Liquid. And Insania is just kind of trying to get whatever he can up here in this top lane.
Yeah, VP are saying they're not going to use this Aegis to push high ground. They only have 1 minute, so they had to make the decision there. If they want to break high ground with Aegis, they had to go already. So they're just backing, going to keep farming. I think next Roshan is their intention, that they're going to break high ground with that one. And Liquid right now, all their players are in their base. They're going to smoke to try and go out and do something, but the lanes are not fantastic right now. There's a creep wave coming in mid, and if no core is farming it, that is going to signal VP that something is up. So Matumba farms it. That means the smoke gang is not really happening anymore.
They're still holding on to a double damage on Mickey, so perhaps they're hoping that they'll find some sort of a straggler, but it definitely doesn't feel like Virtus Pro is going to give them the opportunity to do this at all. We do have the shard, though, now over on Insania. He was hard at work farming that up in the enemy jungle. The only safe place when your enemies have invaded your jungle.
Yeah, he has the shard and he has 1700 gold now, so he has, you know, a little bit of money to work with. Question is what he can buy that has big impact here. He's not actually going for something like a Glimmer. I wonder if he's even considering going, like, saving up for the Aghanims, perhaps. It does work with the shard, so it has nice synergy.
Don't know. Do you have the BKB, though, finished from Matumba Man? So this time, if he plays his cards right, Hakoda's not going to be able... Oh. Hakoda, what a nice static storm. Matumba Man just going to sit here patiently here. Do get it glimpse back over onto Zai. It's patient. Doesn't go for popping that BKB just yet. Holding on to the Chronosphere on top of everything else. So a little bit of a
Imagine if that Disruptor was saving for Aghanims. He'd just be dead right now. But he had Glimmer Cave, because he didn't save for Aghanims. Look at that. Now he's around, he's useful, he can do stuff. I'm a big proponent of active +5 Disruptor, not the Aghanims poverty Disruptor.
There was this like campaign on TV a while back that would do like these little factoids, and there'd be a star that goes across the screen that's like, the more you know, and I feel like we just had that with you, Waga.
That was the more you know Glimmer Cape moment.
The more you know.
Glimmer Cape saves lives, you know.
I know, I'm a support player. I build it. I save my cores. Not always, though. Sometimes they're just way too far away from me, but I try.
Right now it feels like Liquid are trying to at least consolidate some form of control on the map, so they want to go towards top. And GPK is sitting around thinking if he can sneak a kill somehow, but there's a lot of Liquid players around.
Dire are scanning.
He does have a BKB, though, so... No, it looks like he's just gonna play it safe. I like this move, though. He doesn't need to be making any sort of big flashy plays, so... We'll just teleport out, continue to farm.
Yeah, he also doesn't have something like Shadow Blade, so he's not really built for getting solo pickoffs here, since he went for that Hurricane Pike. Which, by the way, I really like in this game. He can push back the Axe, and he can also push away the Void if he gets too close for comfort. Upgrading the Hurricane Pike early on SF in this game is a nice little play. Bottom, this tower is taking damage, like a lot of damage right now.
Yeah, DM has just parked himself down in this bottom area. We'll end up losing one of the birds. Other one should be alright.
You'll trade that for like 2,000 building damage or something for tier 3? Tower is really low now. And that means that their high ground siege is just going to be much easier. The thing about Luna, by the way, when you push high ground, is that if she cracks down the tower, then the glaives start bouncing around on the racks and deeper into the base, right? So when the tier 3 falls, Luna actually is very hard to stop from taking barracks. So this bit of damage she did to the tier 3 tower as Visage, it can be very a very bad sign for Liquid when they have to defend high ground later on.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you lose a fight mid-game against a Luna and she's on your side of the map, you're going to be losing a lot of buildings along with it too. But as expected, Boxy does end up picking up the Wraith Pack, so... Even though they don't have a natural Wraith Pack carrier, he does end up being the person to secure this item. And these damage from these rockets. Oof.
He's been working on it for a long time. The rockets are pretty nice with the Clockwork Aghanims. I still have yet to play it myself, but it seems very convenient. You can just spam out the rockets, get really big area of vision as well for every set of rockets you send out. And you can even push waves with it quite effectively.
No Roche up just yet. It's going to be another 40-something seconds, but you can see VP, they have their mind on the Roche. They probably want to get a pick off, though, before they go into this. There's just too much of a threat with the AoE coming off from the side of Liquid. Throw out another rocket. They can see that size there.
That dire ward next to Roshan that they put is really crucial vision.
They can see it. I'm curious who's going to get the jump on who, because I have a feeling, we're going to see a smoke. We're going to see some sort of movement. It definitely feels like they have to be very cognizant, though, of all the birds, like, pushing into their base. All the lanes going to get shoved in.
Yeah, it's nice by DM that he's going back towards bottom lane. Even though the standoff is on Roche right now, it's important that he shoves bottom lane back and, again, threatens that tier 3 tower so that the timer is on Liquid. And when they make a move for the Visage, or if they send anyone back home, then they can start the Roshan. And they kill it fast enough too, so if anyone reacts bottom, they're probably not making it over in time to Roche Pit.
What's the better situation here? So obviously, you know, they're feeling very confident. They've got a 7k net worth lead. They're feeling very powerful with their BKBs. Mid-game Luna, of course, is so incredibly potent. Well, I was ramping up to being, you know, how are they going to approach this fight? But they just don't care. They just walk into the pit because you know what? They don't have Zai. They don't have Boxy. Do really big AoE. Maybe you can get a snipe and get a steal if you want to pop the BKB and get into the pit with the Chrono, but yeah, look, okay, they bait out the the follow-up though here from Yamich. They'll be able to go and grab the Aegis, so even though they force GPK to pop the BKB in anticipation, they'll still manage to come out ahead with the Aegis pickup and the Roshan kill.
Force the GPK BKB. Yeah, they do force that. Very nice by VP, though. That was very methodical, just sending the Visage down to bottom. And, of course, when anyone showed bottom, they immediately just went for the Roshan, as expected. Liquid were not in time to punish. So it feels like they're very steadily just falling more and more behind. And even though Matumbaman has that Mjolnir, has the BKB, it feels like he's not going to have enough damage to kill the Luna on his own. And there's still the SF as well. Both of them are building up to be these huge threats. And over on the side of Liquid, we don't really have the same thing. This Tiny, Mickey is not really having a game here because only 12,000 net worth, still no Aghanims, 1,000 gold away, and he won't have it by the time they go high ground if they go soon enough.
So what's ended up being the issue for Mickey here? That he's just had, not necessarily a bad game, but just not a present game.
A little bit of the overextensions earlier that they made. They were diving deep under tier 1 tower mid, for instance. Tiny relies on getting kills.
Big fight coming up here. Get this site over onto Boxy. DK just sits back. They'll go in and grab some of these birds, but that's not really where you want to be because now Zai is stuck in the trees. Look at this damage coming out. Oh my god, Zai is just absolutely obliterated. In comes the Luna. Ramsey's cleaning up. The buybacks come out immediately. Liquid not happy that they got caught with the pants down here.
They're split pushing with Void right now. They're trying to trade some damage.
But this Luna, again, if it's a mid-game Luna, you win a fight on the enemy side of the map, you're gonna end up losing lots of buildings. So, you know, Matu is doing the best that he can, but I don't know. I don't think you win this trade.
Yeah, he's TPing home now, or he wants to. Oh wait, he doesn't. Oh, he doesn't have TP. What?
Oh my god, what? He doesn't have TP?
What? He doesn't have TP.
Oh my god, this is looking very, very bad for Liquid right now. I can't believe he doesn't have it.
What? Right. He's running.
Oh, he's definitely coming through from the other side. Perhaps he can catch them, but they are smoked up over onto the back lines. The opening Static Storm. All right, there we go. BKB and Boxy over here will be able to take down the Aegis first time, but they'll clean up over on the Snapfire. And now it's just Matu. He's kind of stuck in an awkward position. We'll go for the Chronosphere, but everything is happening at different points. There's a throw over here onto the Luna, who's kind of stuck in here. But look at the damage coming out. Matu, he's trying. He does get the bash up, but they call GG. They realize that they just cannot stand toe-to-toe. What a way to end this series, Waga.
A bit of an awkward end being stuck on the other side of the map there for sure, but it felt like even if they had the best possible fight that they could get, they just didn't really have the continuous damage output to kill both the SF and the Luna and the Visage. They were so far ahead on VP, and they just scaled better into mid and late game. So, yeah, I feel VP, they looked very confident throughout the entirety of this game, and they played with zero hints of stress. Ramses never died, and they were just very calm, even after taking the first Aegis. They didn't go on high ground too early. They just knew the power spike was going to come later. Team Liquid, they didn't really have anything brewing in the same way. So, like I said, I felt like VP's draft was stronger, and they also show it. They played really fantastic.
Yeah, I actually have VP as one of my teams that's going to make it out of this last chance qualifier because they did look so strong earlier. Of course, they're playing under the name Outsiders at the time, but they were fairly dominant. And it was a little bit of a shaky start in the group stage. We both talked about that. But at the same time, at the end of the day, it just matters that you get into upper bracket, you stay in upper bracket. So, you know, I think this game really highlights the fact that VP, they deserve to be up here. Liquid, also a fantastic team. Definitely having some trouble, though, I think, with Mickey on some of those heroes. He struggled a bit in this game. I think he struggled a little bit in the previous one as well. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there, but, you know, definitely solid performances coming out from GPK. Ramses, I have to say, Hakoda had some amazing display.
Now that they kind of see the lanes.
I would be curious if they swap that Snapfire into mid as a flex pick, because, you know, they played 9 games of Snap, 8 on Alex, 1 on Sam, and they, like you said already, the Chen most likely a 5, very heavily favoring at least.
5
I mean,
seconds remaining.
you could